The views and opinions expressed by guests on this podcast are their own and do not necessarily reflect those of the hosts. This podcast should not be considered a professional news service. The content is for entertainment and informational purposes only. Accuracy and completeness are not guaranteed. We are regular folks having a regular conversation. We hope that you'll join us.
I did that, and then I worked at a food truck a couple of evenings a week, which it was Mediterranean, so I cannot hear somebody say
gyro.
and then they look at me like I'm this big prude. You know? It's just not how you say it.
It's not how you say it.
How do you say it?
Hero. It's a hero.
Hero.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you got it. You got it.
I was like, why I say it like that?
If you
What's
order,
wrong?
I'm sure if you order, they're gonna be like, "What are you, a gyro?"
I'm a dual. Like I'll say gyro, euro. Like I kind of.
Welcome. It is Appalachian Livin. This is season 2.
Season 2.
Hey,
And
Welcome to Appalachian Livin. Almost heaven, nearly hell. Season
right.
2. So, last episode.
Who are you?
Who am I?
Who are you?
You don't know who I am?
that's the great question, right?
Who are you?
Who am I?
I don't.
You're Lindsay effing Riser.
My name's Lindsay.
I like it.
Hi, I'm Lindsay, and I'm on Appalachian Livin.
That's right. And I'm
Hi,
Elise.
Lindsay. And
Nope.
this is
Hi,
Elise.
Lindsay.
And
Nobody knows who I am.
And that's Mr. Tom.
Mr. Tom.
Mr. Tom.
Yeah.
And we have our guest here today.
And his name is
Derek Bolt. I was born and raised in Pineville, West Virginia. And then
Yeah.
All right.
So-
Good old Wyoming County
Yeah,
boy.
that's right.
So our last episode was with a skinny blonde Pineville boy, and once again,
another skinny boy.
We're
So-
gathering them up.
the bookends of our seasons.
Folks are going to want to lower their expectations from Curtis to me, just to let you know if you want a good episode.
So yeah, it's been a couple weeks since we had Curtis
I think
on.
I think it's been longer than a couple weeks.
Yeah.
You keep saying that, but
I
I'm
think
pretty
it was
sure.
August.
I'm pretty sure it's been a
Was it
while.
really that far?
A lot has
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
So yeah.
The last one was outside. So today that's impossible.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we're not outside.
And,
be outside.
and most and let's give a little background of why Derek is here, okay? Like most podcasts, if somebody keeps sending them messages and all of this and is stalking us in real time,
I really want stickers.
and a lot of other podcasts would try to
Press stalker charges.
not invite them to their house and come on the podcast, but we are not
Your ordinary
podcast.
We also have to say that.
And also, we know Derek.
We know Derek.
I've known Derek
And his family.
since he was a kid, since we were kids.
I went to school with your brother. He's older. No.
He's 5 years older, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's our
Yeah.
age, yeah.
Yeah. He was a year younger than me.
Okay.
So
You were older than him, too, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we.
Hey, I donated a very minimal amount of money, okay? So relax. everybody.
All right.
so have we.
I'm trying.
So
Yeah,
everybody
as you
needs
can
to
see.
relax.
As you can tell.
I don't think they need to have high expectations here. We
Perfect.
haven't spent a whole lot of money either.
That's what I tell my girlfriends. You just learn to lower your expectations. You're going to be a lot happier in this thing, I promise.
But quite honestly, you brought us a gift. You brought
I
Ricky
did.
a gift. He
Well-
brought Ricky a script, a coal script.
Piece of script. Yep.
So that one I got more for like the sensory, how it's bigger and there's
Yeah.
a triangle. So I have another gift for the show.
Did you feel that?
Yes.
Did you feel that?
Was that a mind
Yeah, did
blast?
you hear
That's
that?
on the road.
That's the road.
That's the road.
Okay,
They do
so
it
for the audience,
5
the
o'clock every
house
day.
just shook. The
Yeah.
floor shook. Everything shook like a minor
Yeah.
earthquake.
Yeah.
as the gift
As
comes
the
onto
gift
the
comes
table.
onto the table. This feels very profound. Yes.
I mean, my goodness.
So I lied to you. I did manage to commandeer some pottery.
You told me you wasn't.
Well,
You're such a liar.
Yeah, you're
Look
right.
at this. He's
But
been
there's
going to
something
give me
inside
some
of it,
pottery.
too.
Oh, is there? I
Yeah.
must have.
Pretty.
Look at that. It's green.
course it is.
Look at
It
the
is green.
bookends.
Oh, how cool.
It might be wrapped
We
up
can
in
put-
there, maybe.
Oh, okay.
We can put it right here in the middle. That way,
That's beautiful.
there's a little green in the middle.
Somewhere it's in there.
It
There's more, I
matches
promise.
me.
You say there's something
No,
in there,
that's
and I'm
great.
afraid I lost something.
I like it.
No, that's
There's killer.
enough. Really?
Yeah.
Just grab down in there, you'll feel it. Yeah, I'm glad this
Are you
is
sure?
video.
Here, I'm gonna do this.
I just felt it. There you go. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Oh my God.
So one of the things I like to do in golly season when we run the Golly River, you get guides from everywhere. A lot from out west,
so
a lot
awesome.
some from New Zealand. I mean everywhere.
Let me get this.
And they kind of
right.
come and go, dime a dozen. You're probably not going to see them again, but sometimes I'll make friends with them, have a connection. So I'll get us a piece of coal mine script from the same company. And then no matter where our travels take us, we've always got that to kind of connect
So,
us,
Yeah.
let me give you.
So I brought one for each of you. And usually I
They're
take mine,
all the
but
same.
if we put them in a bowl, I'm
Yes,
just gonna
that's
leave
what I
mine in a
love
bowl.
this.
So-
Yeah, they're all from.
Wait.
Sorry.
So, all right. This could have quite possibly been passed along in my family.
Where
From
is it?
Stanford.
This is it for Stanford? Well, it's
Yeah.
New River Coal Company.
Right.
Table
And
merchandise.
my grandfather worked at
I gotta take my
Scarborough.
glasses off because I'm old.
Okay.
and at
Stanford.
what's the name of that place?
You would know Stanford Road.
No,
Stanford. Yeah, I know Stanford Road.
is this straight? Is this?
That's-
It has to be from Stanford. Is that
So that's where. So the New River Coal Company covered a lot of ground.
Right, that's what I'm
Scarborough
saying.
definitely had its own company
1944
store.
is this.
If I'd have known that, I would have tried to find some from Scarborough.
well? But still, I mean, I would say this is probably transferable to any New River
Osborne.
Coal Company
There's
company
names
store,
on these.
right?
There's like
Yeah.
6.
So
Police feels left out. There you
what's
go.
the-
Here, I was going to give you this too. There's just some other ones I got.
That's
Oh, wow.
Check out.
neat.
Dude, thank you.
Yeah, we'll post some pictures of these so folks
Heck
can check them out.
yes.
Please, go ahead.
what's the
Tom.
name of that place? I'm spacing. It's in Fayette County.
Are you
It was a
talking
New
about-
River. It was a New River coal camp. I'm totally spacing on it right now. I'm sorry, y'all.
Are you talking about
Canard? Yeah, I don't.
the
there's a lot
company
of them.
store?
No. Not the Whipple Company store. I'm talking about the camp. Right. It's a little town these days, right? Which all
know
of
what
them
you're
Are you
are.
talking about Thurman?
Not
No.
Thurman.
Prince?
It's not.
Further downstream.
Yeah.
There's
It's.
Known as a camp. As soon as you hear it, you're going to be like, oh, yeah.
yeah, we probably
such and
drive
such
through
camp.
there.
Oh, we
on the
have.
bus.
I don't have a phone.
I got
My phone is actually recording right now, so I
guys-
can't look it up.
You guys have
It's
Wi-Fi?
on.
Still dial up down here?
it's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, my grandfather worked there for a very long time, right? And raised his kids down there, right? And, was caught in a roof fall there and almost died. And they put him back together with pins and rods and screws back in the 70s, right? When it was very rudimental, right? Back surgeries. But he still, walked and hunted and did whatever he wanted to do. Right. Into his, his 60s and lung cancer probably, caught up with him in the late 90s. But, and the Germans tried to kill him and couldn't get that done. So,
generation.
he was a tough son of a, but yeah, he worked for the New River Coal Company. So that's fantastic. I really appreciate this.
cool.
Awesome. I'm
I
glad.
mean,
so
I figured you
awesome.
guys
I can't,
would enjoy it.
and I've been wanting a piece of New River Coal
I've been wanting a piece of
script
Nice.
because that's and my mother's father retired from the Kingston coal camp.
Okay, I've seen it from that
Okay.
store as well.
So I go back in Fayette County a long
Here's
time.
all the names of the New River Coal
Carlisle.
Company.
Carlisle. Yep.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
That was
that's
Carlisle.
As soon as I saw
Yeah, that
it,
one.
I remember.
I could see the end of it, but I couldn't see the beginning of it. Like I knew it was
Sorry.
ISLE or something like that, and I couldn't put it together. But that's
So the
Skelton, that's in
so
Beckley.
Yeah.
for
Yes.
folks that don't know. what the heck we're talking about.
I know, right? We're all Appalachian all over
geeking
now,
out
right?
These pieces of
Hill.
script here, they were legal tender
Currency,
in
right.
coal camps,
Gringe.
and you could not buy things with American dollars in these in the coal camps. You had to have this script, and
all
it was a fraction of a dollar.
A different stamp that was.
It was only good at that company's
Yeah.
store.
And it
Yeah.
says non-transferable
Yep.
and payable in merchandise, which means you traded it in for items like
Yeah.
food
I think
items
there were
or
some was like
fabric.
for a loaf
Some-
of bread.
some
for
were-
the mine.
Yeah, some of them were for merchandise, some of them were food.
Okay, so you had
So
maybe
you had
two
to-
types of
yeah,
script.
you had,
but
two or
then the
three
company
types.
put this in their till and took it out of their till and paid the next round of workers with it, right? So
Yes.
this is a closed loop currency.
And then
Yes.
they would, let them have credit, but
Yeah.
Well,
you always owed your boss, so that
Yeah.
came you owe my soul to the company.
And they priced things to where you were always
Oh,
gonna
right.
Yeah.
owe money at the end of the week.
and you couldn't
know?
really leave that town and
so I don't think
Yeah.
it's a
It's
coincidence
Price
that we
Hill.
all wore green
Right.
tonight, and
Nope.
that
Not a
this is
coincidence
not
at
a
all.
coincidence at
When I
all.
was throwing that pot, I was like, you know what? We're all going to wear green. No, it's fine. No, I'm just-
they were gonna wear green.
So
So-
the one from Skelton, I'm sending out to Colorado. A friend of mine, Jeremy Denot, one of the best humans on earth. Pancreas.
Shout out to Jeremy.
Yeah, his pancreas decided to hate him there about a year ago, but he's
Yeah.
upbeat. But I'm sending that to him and
Get
some
better,
other stuff.
Jeremy. I hope this makes you feel
Yeah.
better.
I'm going to send him this Baby Yoda Bop It. So I've got the high score, obviously, but if he beats the high score, then he can mail it back to me.
Baby
That's
Yoda
fine.
Bop It.
That's
that is
awesome.
fantastic, right?
Sweet. I'm
So-
glad you guys.
Very
glad
cool.
You guys enjoy
Yeah.
it. Thank you guys so much for having me on. This is.
I
Well,
don't
this is
know-
a big part of our history, and I mean, you're bringing these things up, and it's so exciting for me to see somebody younger than me talking about this and having such an extensive knowledge, and not only that, sharing it with folks. Like, I love that you're, the connections that bring us together as people, like water rafting, like love for beautiful places and cool people, to then be able to like tie that knot deeper with kind of cultural connections, because the mining in Colorado, a lot of the early mining history in Colorado ties directly to mining history here and
I didn't
across the
even
country.
Realize that until we took a trip to Colorado, and he had to work, and when we got to travel, we just went just a little ways outside of Denver, up on the mountain, and there's this little coal town.
Yeah.
I don't know the name of it, but we just went and
It was a gold town.
gold.
Yeah, they mine.
Or silver. I think that
Silverton.
one was
Either
silver.
way,
right?
it's still a
right outside of
mining
Denver.
town.
Like Joe
it's
Dirt,
Silverton.
Silvertown?
Yeah.
But it
Yeah.
was
That's
still
it.
a mining town,
Yes.
and you could see the similarities.
Yeah.
And there was an awesome waterfall there.
Sure.
So it was like, oh, it's beautiful. And then, coal mining or mining.
Right.
Extraction.
Yeah.
So I think it's cool. And I'm licensed to practice law in Colorado because I lived out there for, I don't know, like five and a half years after law school. And I've always said that one of these days I might open up a mountain to mountain kind of practice, right? Like, how cool would it be to practice in the two mountainous places in this country, So that's like
And two of the coolest places.
two of the
so-
coolest places, absolutely.
Might be getting ahead, but about 4 years ago, I spent the summer in Colorado raft guiding, and it was
Which river were you on?
the Arkansas. I was
So-
in Buena Vista.
That's the one I was like,
Yeah. I wish I'd known you were a lawyer then.
No, that's the only river I rafted in Colorado, and it was so intense. I mean,
Yeah.
it was right after the ice melt, and it was like 6 hours of 4s and 5s.
Do you remember which section you did by chance? Or-
Shit, no. I
Okay.
was like, I'm gonna wear a wetsuit and a helmet, and they were like, "You sure the
have
hell
to.
are?" Yeah,
Yeah.
like that's not optional, Like, if you don't,
I'm going to wear this because it'll be cute.
No,
And they're
I'm like,
yeah, you're going to have to save your life.
yeah, they're like, no, it's not optional. And that summer, I told this story on a previous podcast. I was reading papers for work, and every week leading up to that trip, somebody was dying on that river. Like it was a wicked year, and I was almost didn't go.
Probably down in Royal Gorge. would be
Yes,
my
that sounds
guess.
about
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And so it was beautiful and intense and the ride of my life, but at the same time, I'll never do it. I don't have any desire to do it again.
Real quick, I did want to shout out Village Antiques and Things in Oak Hill. That's where I got
Yes,
the Scrip
Village
from.
Antiques and Things.
Shout out Village Antiques.
And we'll post some
have to run up.
pictures.
I'm gonna have to run up there and see if they got some
Scarborough,
Carlisle or
Carlisle.
Scarborough. You know?
So the antique store in Fayetteville is closing down. I didn't realize, and that's where my Scrip connection was. They had these 3-ring binders just full of it. But they had a couple 3-ring binders as well. Maybe they'll get more with that one closing down. So.
Right.
Right
All
on.
right. Well, we're gonna have to go by there.
Sweet old lady, she drives a hard bargain. I tell you.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
At Coal Camp Living, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Hey, look,
right,
she knows
right.
what she's got.
That's
She
right.
does.
Yeah.
And when people want it too.
Right.
I just pictured some old lady pulling her coat open and being like, I got some script. I got the good script
I
over
got
here.
that script.
I got the towns you want.
I know your grandpa worked at Scarborough.
I know you're looking for Scarborough.
Well, I walk in looking like this. So I went as Joe Dirt for Halloween last week and decided it felt so
it.
natural looking white trashy
Yeah.
like this. I was just going to rock it for a little bit.
All right.
But I
into
forget
it.
that my face looks like this sometimes. Now I can't remember where I was going. So yeah,
I understand.
Walk in looking like this at the antique store, Then we start talking. I'm from Pineville, and
Yeah.
so that always works out.
Right. They're like, oh, of course you are.
Yeah.
Freaking weirdo.
Of course you're from
Could have
Wyoming
led
County.
with that. We,
Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't have to leave with that. We figured it.
Put your best foot forward type
And,
of deal.
and listen, we're from Wyoming County, so don't come after
Dude,
us.
we're in Wyoming County
Yeah.
right now, so
Right.
shut up.
that's another thing. So I will always be from Pineville, West
Yes.
Virginia.
Yes.
Right.
In Colorado, the people I couldn't stand the most were like, "Where are you from?" I'm from Denver. No, you're from Indiana. You lived in Denver for 3 months. You're not from Denver.
Right. And that's everybody that says they're from New York, too. By the way, like in the media business, you meet a lot of people, and they're like, "Oh yes, I'm based out of. I'm from New
I'm
York."
from New York. You're like,
And I'm like, "Where did you live when you were a kid?"
Right.
And they're like, "Indiana." I was like, "Oh, you're
Yeah.
from Indiana. I got it.
Yeah.
Okay."
So the opposite of that, my son lives in Metro Detroit. Nobody says they're from Detroit. Nobody says that.
I got family up in Detroit. They'll tell you they're from Detroit, but
you got to go there to see them.
It's
Yeah.
not as bad. If you're around the casinos and the ballparks, it's
Yeah.
fine. You can
Right.
go.
I don't think I've
Yeah.
ever been to
Right.
Detroit.
I've been and I think I was in a job interview one time, and the GM of the station, he was a brand new GM, and I had worked at this station for a long time, and he was from Michigan, and I was like, well, I have family in Detroit, and he was like, what suburb do they live in?
It's got paper.
I'll get it.
Right. And, and I was like, well, they didn't live in the suburbs, not when I was there.
Right.
Right. And I think the last time I had been there was like I was 13 or something. Right. But my mom had 2 sisters that married 2 guys named Bill Fernandez and Bill Shaw.
Naturally.
Okay. My Aunt Shirley married Bill Fernandez, who, immigrated from Mexico.
That's 3.
And then my Aunt Shirley, who was my mother's sister, Shirley and Lucy were my mother's sisters, right? And she married a guy named Bill Shaw. And so they lived right next to each other in brownstones in Metro Detroit, inside Detroit, right?
In city limits.
In the city limits.
Okay.
Like, I don't remember much about it. I know there was a little league ballpark, like right across, up the road there, and I can't remember where it was. But this guy just thought I was trying to connect with him, and then I made up a story because he didn't believe that I had family that lived in Metro Detroit.
Right.
Right. And I think I may have lost that job because he thought I was lying about having
what, they
family
live
in
on-
Detroit.
Well, they live on 8 Mile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Like, which, hey, granted, it sounds like a lie.
I mean, Metro Detroit, no. City Detroit.
In the city of Detroit.
Yeah.
Right? Like in the city of Detroit. Like, I stayed there for about a month one time, and they had to take me to Kmart to buy me like plain white,
some Champion.
Yeah. Some like plain white shirts and some Bobos, like the cheapest tennis shoes.
Not the Air Jordans.
No.
And the hoodie that matched them.
And they were like, because they told me as soon as I got there, and I had like the cheapest Nikes you could buy, but they had the check on them, right? And but they were like, no, you can't go out. You can't go outside and play like
Somebody's
that.
gonna knock you down, take your sneakers.
Right. And so and as soon as Eminem comes out, in the late '90s, I saw him with the white T-shirt, and I was like, that's Detroit, because I was there. Like 10 years earlier, there wearing a white T-shirt, and that's so he wouldn't get, jumped and his stuff taken, right? And so, yeah. I don't know where I was going with that, but
maybe I can bring it back.
All right, we'll bring it back around, brother.
I lived up there for 4 years, like 2012 to 16, something like that. And I say this, and it sounds bad, but it's the truth. When the riots happened in the 70s, the white people didn't go far. They only went about 20 miles, 30 miles.
Right.
And that I didn't know what money was until I moved to Detroit. That was the first time I was really out of West Virginia. What I thought was money here is middle of the road. I worked for a landscape company, very high-end landscape company, but we probably had a dozen clients that spent $750,000 a year or better just in maintenance, just in mowing the grass, the sprinklers, the snow removal. That's not any big projects, nothing like that. And that's just crazy.
Mind-blowing.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Mind-blowing, yeah.
Well, that's like I'm pretty sure the richest people I took rafting was in Colorado, and they were super nice people. They were really cool. I used context clues, though. They had just got back. They lived right outside Dallas. They had just got back from a month in Dubai for their daughter's wedding. And then later it came up.
Your dog is obsessed.
So to the dog real quick, I didn't realize there was a dog, and I was like, "Why is Elise kicking me in the foot so hard right now?" I'm ready to go.
Okay,
But
we should
easy, lady. I'm taking.
right. Like, very forward of you.
Oh my God.
Ollie is all up in my business over
God.
here. I don't know if you
Look, I need help with this stuff. Oh my God.
She said her water bill was $1,000 for the month they were gone with nobody there. That's your lowest bill, right? And so it had to be sprinklers, probably maids cleaning sheets. That's
No way.
Yeah, that's rich. And they were cool though. They weren't like they didn't brag.
Yeah,
I just used context.
Yeah, but
clues.
damn.
That's a lot of money. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, damn. I see
That's
people
our
fucking
mortgage.
starving,
Yeah,
y'all,
yep.
and they're paying $1 million for fucking sprinklers and shit.
1,000.
When they're not even there.
Yeah.
1,000.
Yeah, that's not But
It was for a month.
What are numbers? I was
Right.
told there wouldn't be math.
I'm glad there isn't, because I can't count.
You know what? You know what's funny?
What's that?
Is that I got the number wrong and you had to correct
Yeah.
me. Usually Tom's the one with the numbers.
That is hilarious.
But that's
One-
still
Hey,
still
we were
fucked
talking
up.
dollars, baby. I got to get it straight.
For real, like there's so much money outside of here,
Well, when we talk
yeah.
about this being, we
Ollie,
I keep forgetting to look at
get down, bro.
Here, you can bug me, bud. Here.
you bug him for a minute. That choosing to live here and choosing to be here is an act of resistance. That op-ed that came out a couple weeks ago that resonated so deeply.
I
with
mean, we know that by looking at the comment section of any social media
any
post that
social
we
media
put out
post,
there.
right? So when you
You
hear
need to
those
just
numbers,
leave.
I always say that, like in this market, doing what I do, if I was anywhere else, I'd make 3 to 4 times more than I make, right? And then that extra income goes into things like that, right? That's generally how that works, is in those markets, things are more expensive and you feed into them. But I think it's really important, and I'm glad you said that, because the disparity of wealth that exists in this country is really profound. And I think that people think that those people and me are the same, when in fact we are not the same. We have totally different priorities, totally different values and things like that. So when you take money out of the equation, what's left, right? Like, where do you find, and I love that you said that, they're cool people. They weren't bragging about their wealth. They needed people to take care of their stuff while they were out there living their best life. I'm not judging that. I'm just saying the fact that we can't even fathom what it's like to
Right.
be in Dubai
Yeah.
for a month for a wedding party, right? While your estate is being managed by other people. That's a pretty foreign idea, but these people
I don't even have a passport.
were put in the same boxes as Americans, right? Like the thought is that we all share these ideas in common. So having traveled around, like where do you land? Like, are you here now permanently, or are you?
No, Sharon, Pennsylvania. is
That's where you're based
I
out of.
reside. Yep.
Where is
That's-
Sharon? I don't
Sharon
even know.
Is
Is it
right
like
on the border of Youngstown, Ohio. It's about 20 minutes from Youngstown.
Okay.
Okay.
YSU.
Yeah.
It was
So is
pretty
that like-
cool when Gabby Lapartis played for YSU. We'd go watch the basketball games. It was, so it was pretty
Heck
cool.
yeah.
I can't get out and deal with.
He'll calm down in a
I'm
minute.
really sorry. My dog
It's,
is a.
it's,
you're
how dare you? How dare you have a dog
So
that
do
loves
you?
me?
What is your main? Like, what is your job there?
So
What
I
do you-
work for the Hermitage Water Pollution Control Department, which
Interesting.
is the best way of saying sewage plant I've ever
Okay,
heard.
so
They do a
waste
lot
management.
Waste management.
Solid.
So I think I know more than the community knows. They do a lot of food and beverage disposal there, which
Interesting.
so you're saving the landfills from filling up. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure those companies like Coke and McDonald's can put some sort of green initiative check mark that gets them a tax break somewhere.
Sure.
You know what I
Carbon
mean?
credit.
Yeah,
on
it's
the
called
sheet.
carbon credits.
Yeah.
There you go. See, and how we break it down that with the sludge coming into the plant, we are able to turn that into power, put it back out on the grid with a biogenerator.
Very cool.
We
Heck
can
yeah.
sell the sludge to farmers, Class A sludge. So there's a lot good going on there. But also, a lot of the food and beverage we get is not even expired yet. It will be expired in like 3 weeks, but so they don't have time to get it on the. Yeah.
Wow.
Seems
So
like
a lot of food just goes to waste.
a lot. I've got a picture of McDonald's from the other day. It was 24 pallets. I
Wow.
don't know if that's wrong.
We don't want to get you in trouble.
I mean,
You know.
Well, I mean, this is obviously a public,
exactly. Yep.
facility that takes this type of waste. So, I mean,
And it's not our fault.
it's
you
not
know.
our fault.
Right.
But I think it does
And
show
screw
that, like,
McDonald's,
the consumption,
as far as I'm concerned.
consumption versus actual waste
Right.
is really fascinating because I think this goes unseen. Right,
Sure.
like we don't see where those pallets of food
Yeah, I-
The
disappear
fact
to.
that
I didn't
it's
know
not
anything
yet
about this.
expired,
I may
and we
have
have
deleted it.
people that are
And
starving.
wasn't there a
and they
country in
can't
Europe
just-
just recently who said passed a law saying
find
that
it
you
real
have to they have to give even expired food to food banks and stuff. They can't dispose of it. They have to
Right.
utilize it to feed people.
And those are decisions that nobody we come into contact with are making. These are decisions
Exactly.
made way up.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
But fascinating. How did
Right.
you find that job? I'm just
It
curious.
was they posted it.
Right.
Applied for
It was on a
if
job
I get to an interview, I've got that job.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
That's the
this
same.
is same-
I'm
That's
the
the
same
same
way,
way.
yeah.
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 You know.
All I need's in the
Something
door.
fine. I got my tie on, so
Right.
leaving, I'll be like, I actually have court after this.
I think
is
that's
why
a
I'm
West
dressed.
Virginia. I was going to say that's a West Virginia quality, but now that you're saying that, that's absolutely a West Virginia. I am multitasking in this
Yeah.
outfit.
So last night we went to the Char, and my joke was, I got to pick my mom up from Southern Regional, Well, I went in this gas station, there's like 3 other guys, and I said that, and like they were pumped. They were like, hell yeah.
All
man.
right, get on about it,
Yeah.
J.L.
So then I had to like roll with it, They're like, how long
You're
she
like
been in there?
Tom lying about your
6
family in the
6
jail.
months. Yeah. Couldn't get out of there
Right.
quick enough. Yeah.
Was she one of the ones that got caught in Wyoming County with fentanyl?
No, she
Ollie,
created a
get
public
down.
nuisance.
Bring you out.
Right.
Ollie, get down.
She
love.
created a public nuisance.
Speaking of mom, so I told her, I was like, hey, I got a chance to be on a podcast, Mom. She looked me dead in the eye and said, well, why do they want to talk to you? What are you going to talk about? I'm talking about this now. Now we're going to talk about what just
Yeah,
happened.
I wanna talk about
We're going
you.
to talk about you. How you like that,
yeah.
Mom?
All right, childhood trauma. Let's go.
No. Kathy Bolt's a saint.
Yeah, that's right.
She, is the,
She was always nice to me, okay?
Us Bolt men would be laying in a ditch somewhere.
Is
Yeah,
your
for
mom
sure.
also
Kathy
from
Bolt.
Pineville? Is she from around
She
here?
is not. She grew up in Sharon, Pennsylvania.
Get out of
Yeah,
town.
Yeah, so
Okay.
they moved back right when both of them retired, basically. So she graduated from Penn State, Went back to Sharon, I think substitute for a year or so. And then there were ads in the paper for teachers in southern West Virginia. Called the number and they hired her over the phone. No, this was in 1977.
And that still happens today because if you need a job, you come on down.
Yeah.
We'll hook you up.
So
Where did she work?
she worked at, I think she started at, I want to say, like not Oceana, but down that way. I can't remember, but she was at Pineville most of the time. But the first summer she came down was before the New River Gorge Bridge was finished. So she had to go down the old way. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I'm sorry I brought the dog.
Oh my God, this dog. What is in? What
Here,
is your
you can
problem?
hear you can hear Ricky go, Ollie, shut up.
Come on, Ollie, come here. I'm going to take him off.
Yeah.
Take him outside.
He's gonna bark outside.
Don't get tangled up in any wires.
It's like he has been a well behaved young man, and we get two new people, and he's just like lost his mind.
I've been told I bring out the worst.
He's a puppy, and we've only had him for a few weeks, and he's
great.
Oh yeah, I almost killed him.
He's already been to emergency vet care because he ate it in a leave.
Yeah,
off the table.
I had a leave
Oh my God.
on the table for like 5 seconds, and this dog just and
just a heads up: if you call the animal poison control, they will charge you.
Yeah,
to
it's
get
like
advice.
Really?
Yeah, there's
$80
Yeah, $89.
There was one that wanted to charge me $211.
That's not right.
Yeah.
Mom tells me they were on a first name basis with the poison control line. When I was a kid, like I drank perfume.
Well, this is pet poison control.
Pet poison control.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your mom was on a first name basis.
That's what she said.
She probably just paid him like a retainer.
I'm going to go ahead and say no. I bet she didn't pay anything.
No, but the pet one, they want a card.
The ASPCA is more expensive.
Oh,
yeah. It's, I mean, but the place that we ended up taking him to, shout out to, what was it? The Kanawha Valley Animal
Clinic.
Hospital Clinic, something like that. It's in South Charleston. Fantastic people. I showed up in the middle of the night. That's their bread and butter. They're only open during the night, I guess. And, charcoaled him up in his stomach and, kept him overnight. It, cost me $1,000, this lady's water bill. And I
know people are starving and I'm paying $1,000 on this dog, but
they're not. Oh, sorry.
I feel like we just got him a week before that, and the guy loved him so much, but they couldn't take care of him. And so he still messages on how Ollie's doing. I swear I could not be we
almost killed him.
About Ollie. He's laying next to the other dog that died. I was
summer,
like, dude, if something happens to this dog, I'm never getting an animal. Because obviously, something's telling me I don't need.
Lindsay had a full-on breakdown. As this, we're talking to poison control, and
I swear to God,
why
was your leave out on the table? Your leave's never on the table.
It's never.
Why?
I laid it there for 5 seconds so I could
never leave your medicine out
sit
on the
down.
table.
Do you have any dogs there?
At least it's not Tylenol, right?
I mean, I could maybe deal with another autistic child.
Mom and dad have a dog, Daisy, who is my mortal enemy. What
kind of dog is it?
She's a pit bull mix, and she came from like a fighting ring in Youngstown.
You don't mess with Mama, number one.
Well, we think she was like a bait dog because I've got pictures of the day they found her, and she's just skin and bones, and but boy, did she hit the jackpot with Wilbur and Kathy Bald, I tell you.
Living her best life.
Oh, yeah. But every time I come in the door, she's barking. I'm like, if you would have been around when I was a teenager, we'd have had problems. We'd have had to have a talk,
Y'all probably would have got along if you lived together. Siblings, you know how siblings are.
Yeah.
Pit bulls are the best, too.
Yeah.
Like, once they adopt you, like, once they fall for you, there is no finer friend than a pit bull or a bulldog. They're the best.
Yeah.
Not that Ollie isn't awesome, but
They were foster fails, is what
Ollie's
they
a
were.
little-
Mom and Dad.
Ollie's
Right.
a little dumb.
Right, just I feel like I kind of talked down on Kathy. She was instrumental in starting the first Wyoming County Toy Fund drive.
Heck yeah.
Very
She got
cool.
Raleigh County to
Look.
match, I think, up to 20,000, the first 20,000.
Your
So
mom raised
she's a
you
saint.
and
She's a
Jeff.
saint. Jeff Bolt, yeah.
Is he's doing well?
He's up in PA as well. Yeah,
Cool, man.
yeah.
Your
Glad to
mom's
hear
a
it.
saint.
Mom's just all boys. Yep.
Yeah.
And then
I know your brother.
I'm surprised. I'm really
Hey
surprised.
Jeff, how you doing?
Wilburn's not in a shallow grave because every single day, mom would come home from school, from teaching school, and say, "Honey, I'm going to run and get some dinner." And he would say, "Well, honey, or Kathy, won't you drive? It'll be a little faster." Funny now. For 16 years,
Yeah.
every day, I'm sure that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, those will get on your
Yeah.
nerves.
As she looks at me. Yeah.
Well, I say that my husband's job every day is to get a rise out of me, which
Yeah.
is fine.
Oh, it is. I've
Yeah.
watched it.
It's fine, but 10 years in, I'm kind of like,
All right.
there's somebody else that really wants you to bug them.
Ollie, please,
I have I don't know, dude.
for the love of God, Ollie, I love you.
He wants to be on the podcast.
Yeah.
I'm pretty convinced.
He's
Can you
he's
see him?
peeking over the
Yeah.
table there. So.
You did it, man. You're
You-
on
You're
Yeah.
on there, bro.
You're famous,
You're
dude.
good.
Yep.
So you have seen our podcast. You've watched some of our episodes, and
I
you still
have.
wanted to come on here.
Come back.
Yes.
I'm really concerned.
been very excited. Are you kidding me? I've never been described as normal, they would say. You know what I mean?
See, that's probably why you're a fan.
Yeah, yeah.
So-
No, I think it's awesome what you guys are doing. I love the message you're getting out there. You're trying to help the community. I've always thought a lot of you, Tom, growing up.
Yeah, same, man.
So,
Yeah. We try to help the community. Sometimes the community is not as
Receptive.
or open to that help.
I don't know what you're talking about. Everybody
know,
loves me.
It's. I think you should run for county commission or something.
Christina's like, somebody needs to run. I'm like, girl, you know.
You could get elected. I think so.
I think I'd like to do school board.
Yeah. Well, hey, that's
I think I would
could
do school
that.
board. If I would do any of them, it would be school board
Yeah.
because the school system has really pissed me off.
Yeah. Well, I'm running for Senate. Did you hear?
No,
Did you see that?
I would really love if you would talk to me about these things.
yeah, I would quit my job and be your
vote-
campaign manager.
Vote Tom Reiser, U.S. Senate, West Virginia.
The thing is that I hear these things that's going to happen, and nobody has said anything to me about this.
Oh, I thought we talked about this.
I mean,
No.
it's
Did
2
we
years
not?
down the
No,
road,
we
right?
didn't.
Yeah, it's we got a while, so it's
Plenty
all right.
time.
We'll have a chat.
People don't prep their whole lives for that type of thing.
You come from politicians,
I
don't
do,
you?
yeah, that's
I
what
was going to
gonna
say, you were talking about old Wilburn.
Yeah, well,
Yep.
it started. My granddad was sheriff of Wyoming County, and then
What was his name?
Bill Bolt was what they called him.
Bill Bolt.
Bill Bolt.
Bill Bolt.
Which
Hey,
is,
Bill Bolt.
it's also Wilburn, though. I didn't.
Which is
Side
my
story.
grandpa's middle name.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
which is interesting.
my dad's middle name is Watley, and he
Wilburn
Wilburn
Wilburn Watley.
Yeah. And
Wilburn Watley
Jesus,
Bolt.
did his mother hate him?
WW was but he says I kept that a secret for 20 some years. And then your mother had it put in the paper and we got
Now it's on the podcast. There you go.
But yeah, so he was sheriff, chief of police at one point. My
Yep.
Uncle Jim, my dad's brother, was sheriff. Dad was magistrate for 22 years. He was a deputy before he was magistrate. That's actually how him and Mom met. He had his partner, John L. Chapman, pull her over one day. That's how Mom and Dad met. Yeah.
There you
That's
go.
so Southern West Virginia.
Yep,
Right.
that's it.
You know what else is? You and I meeting at Pinnacle Drive-In that weekend.
And he's like, I'm on my way to your house. I'm like, you are?
well, I saw the man, the myth, the legend, Ricky sitting there.
Yeah.
He was. It's like,
I-
yeah, you know, I got to get Rick some
Yeah,
French fries
Ricky's
and
Ricky's a
milkshake.
lot more famous than we are, for sure.
Yeah,
as he should be.
yeah.
Definitely. So, all right.
I forgot where we were going.
I don't know.
All the
We were talking about
politicians.
politicians.
Oh, yeah,
so
that's right.
it
So-
seems like not only politicians, there are a lot of cops.
Yeah, they were. Dad was magistrate for 22 years.
Ollie, get down.
So
Get
I
down.
usually like.
How do I train this dog? Anybody help?
Well,
How?
you got to do it while you're not doing
Yeah,
a podcast.
we're not going to do it. We're not going to get anything
We're
done.
going to do a dog training podcast right now.
There's not going to be a consistent time in my life where I can sit here and train this dog.
I think it's great. Like it
Yeah.
adds to the environment.
Really?
Of the podcast.
Because it's adding to my anxiety. I just want to say.
You're the only one who's
You're bringing
Yeah.
more attention to it than anybody.
Your therapist tell you to get a dog to relieve stress.
terrible idea. And not a puppy. Don't get a puppy
Yeah.
to relieve stress.
But so
know what I was
he was actually elected the year I was born.
Oh,
so
cool.
growing up 22 years of politics, I don't talk about it much. I feel like I have a decent educated opinion, but it's just, I mean, I'll talk about it here.
Did you
but
help him on the campaigns?
That was one of my favorite memories as a child.
That's
Is
so cool.
a year or so before the election, on the weekends, we would go to every nook and cranny in the county and talk to people he probably hadn't talked to for 4 years.
Good old
Did you knock on
politicking.
doors?
No, it was more people he knew
Out in public,
already.
or-
Yeah. I don't think he wanted to take his 6-year-old just knocking on doors up Long Branch. You know what I mean? But
We had a discussion about this that
Yeah.
we were
Yeah.
in a Bernie.
Yeah,
a
somehow
Zoom call.
we got looped into a Bernie Zoom call.
'Cause
They're
we
trying
thought they
teach
were
people
gonna-
how to organize.
Well, yeah,
Bernie
we
who?
thought Bernie Sanders. And so yeah,
Okay.
and they were talking about how you need to go door to door, and I'm like, ma'am, do you know? And then you know,
And then
I
we
put-
got pushback online.
I
They're like, you
did.
make us sound like savages. We're like, but we are kind of.
like-
I mean, like,
Yeah.
don't come knocking
Some
on
of us
my
are.
door.
Why don't you
Now-
come knocking on my door then?
now the whole world's like that. Like, you
I mean,
remember when
really?
you get excited when the phone rang at your house? Like,
Yeah.
everybody's running. Now, like, why? I'm going to throw this
Yeah,
away.
why?
Like,
Yeah. Oh my
who's
God.
calling
Somebody
me?
knocks on the door, everybody hides. Like,
Yeah.
how dare you? You know?
Right. That's I mean, that's a fair point. Everybody's like that these days.
Yeah.
I gotta say, the last time a politician dropped by my house, he was the guy that got arrested for fraud.
You had to narrow it down much.
Well, and as
I didn't
someone-
want you to know exactly who.
Okay, sorry.
I've never heard, like, I don't know people who grew up doing that. So for
Yeah.
me, that's really interesting because I am a political scientist. Like, that's what I ended up studying in
okay.
school. And I've worked on a lot of campaigns, legislative campaigns for like pieces of legislation. I've never worked on a candidate's campaign, but I've given lots of advice to candidates because I think candidates sometimes are so hyper focused on certain things that they can't zoom out and see that the nooks and the crannies and, you know, just being out and about
Right.
in the place where you want to be recognized and having real conversations is more valuable in places like this than ad buys or billboards or things like that. You know, that's a very surface type, approach to that.
Dad would always say, those signs don't vote.
Those signs don't vote. That's
For
right.
sure.
And most of the people who see them are in a very specific, they have a car. They're
Yeah.
traveling a certain road to and from. Like, you're targeting with signs. Like, that's not a good campaign.
And then
tool.
also, you could be annoying people with signs.
Yeah.
well,
I feel like people have their mind made up a lot. They're a lot less likely to have anything sway their opinion. these
yeah, I
days.
think that's true.
You know what I
so
mean?
I
Yeah.
guess that to that point is like how we have traditionally campaigned in this country and in the past is changing a lot. And
Yeah.
as candidates move forward, but those types of things never change. Being present, and kids are great on the campaign trail. You kidding me?
yeah.
You bring a little kid along with you.
Hey, we would go to the grocery store in Mullins, and their slogan was, "It just takes dollars and cents to shop at," and I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, it was like a
Oh,
casino type deal at the office. You like there was,
Yeah, it was up top,
one-sided
yeah.
glass, So I'm looking out over the grocery store while they're talking. I always thought that was
What
cool.
was the name of that place? They had great meat. My mom used to go over there and buy
It
meat.
just makes dollars
in
and
Mullins?
cents.
It was in Mullins.
Yeah, I want to say Ashley's, but that's
It's not. It's Dave's.
Dave's? It's something like
Wayne's.
that. Wayne's.
Wayne's.
It's Wayne's. That's it.
I know it was a
that's who
dude's name. It was
That's
some
that's
guy's
who we were
name.
visiting was
Right.
old Wayne.
Yeah.
Wayne's, yes.
Wayne's.
I
So
Yeah.
as a
that.
politician,
meat.
you get to go in like
Oh, yeah,
like he was
yeah.
kind of on the inside because he got
Yeah.
to go into the back of the.
He also swears the only reason he won that first election is that people thought they were voting for his dad.
As any good politician will.
But
You-
speaking of signs, I know there's a Wilburn Bolt sign somewhere here.
I believe it's up towards Herndon.
Okay. Well, no, there's another one. There's another one.
Like it's still out in the back.
I think I think it's on this road.
Speaking of which, I remember helping
There's
make
Rick.
the wood signs.
Yeah, those are. I'm talking the wood signs.
Okay,
Either the
yeah.
one I'm talking about is either up here on Welch Pineville Road as you're heading that way, or it's like on the Sawsville Road, like near the train trestle.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You go under the train trestle there somewhere. I swear, there's still a Wilburn Bolt
Somebody
sign
else
somewhere.
has told me about that.
Yeah.
So I believe.
Yeah,
You'll have to
So-
look for it now.
We got a guest
Rick
appearance.
yeah. Of
From
course,
Rick.
Rick's got to
Hey,
make his
Rick.
his appearance.
I like it. What'd that button do?
turns his mic
Oh,
off.
okay. I was just curious.
It got quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm loud.
Yeah.
So were you ever like, I never want to run for office, or were you ever like, I want to be like this when I grow up?
From about the time I remember, Dad would say, if you get any kind of notion to run for office, just write it off as a hangover and go on about your day. So he said you don't want, because every 4 years, pretty confident he's getting elected. He was one of the
Right.
top vote getters, but every 4 years, there's that chance that half the income's gone.
You're going to find another job, right?
Yeah, exactly. So,
Well, and I think if you are an incumbent and you're a good legislator, your
Yeah.
chances of staying in there
Yeah,
are
that-
really phenomenal.
being able to put reelect, Dad always said that wins a lot of elections.
Absolutely, and they
being
know
able
what
to
they're
put
getting.
reelect.
The devil you know is better than the devil you don't in a lot of circumstances. But what position? So you said sheriff. Your grandfather was sheriff.
Dad was magistrate.
He was magistrate.
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
And wow. So the magistrates in small towns and rural counties deal with a lot of. Ollie.
I love him.
Come here, Bob.
He's very passionate.
He's very passionate right now.
They deal with a
Yes.
lot of community issues. You know, the magistrates know a lot of the secrets of the community because the things that happen after dark that, you know, the rest of the town doesn't know about, the magistrate has to deal with sometimes. And so that's a really, maybe more so in small towns, it's kind of like being a small town lawyer. You know, you hold secrets for people and hold knowledge about people and their families that not everybody has access to, you know.
He said by far the toughest part was seeing some of the same women in there month after month saying they didn't want to press charges. You know?
Having the same
And,
issues repeatedly.
Yeah.
And then, you know,
that's-
seeing those folks in the grocery store and at church, you know, those small town dynamics are really real and profound. And it takes a lot of character and integrity not to share those secrets and not to, you know,
Right.
speak on those things and or to use it to manipulate. You know, a lot of the issues in these small towns come from magistrates who gain information and power. And
Information
manipulate
is
it.
power.
That's right.
I about everybody I ever talked to said that he was fair. That's what, you know.
That's a good a legacy. I think I'd be happy
Yeah.
if people thought of me as a fair magistrate.
But speaking of church, I was raised Catholic in southern West Virginia. That was fun. Get to
So was I,
Oh,
actually.
yeah, look at that.
I was ordained, or not ordained. I was, I did catechism when I was like 16,
Okay.
15, 16. And I was the oldest one in my catechism class. I was like there with 7 and 8 year olds, you know, receiving my first communion. And, but what was that like? Because this is pretty much a Protestant,
I mean, yeah, it was.
different.
I didn't really talk about that
Did
much.
you go
I guess,
to the one up on the in Pineville?
The one in Pineville, right beside the car wash.
Because your
right
mom
in
was
front of
Catholic,
the-
right?
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
My mom was Catholic too, and it was like my grandmother's demand that
Yeah.
we be christened and raised.
You know what's funny too? For probably till I was 9 or 10, we had a Father Perry from the Philippines. You couldn't understand. Nobody could understand.
Might as well have been in Latin,
Might-
right?
Yeah, exactly. Like poor Father Perry. Yeah, I was an altar boy.
We had
so-
we had Dave Schmidt, and he was Irish, good
Yeah.
Irish guy, and
Yeah.
it wasn't too thick of a.
We had Father. He's getting my bracelet.
Yeah, that's fine. You're fine.
Father Jack. After
buddy.
that, he was a good priest.
I liked
Level-headed.
Yeah, I liked the priests in our church. I tried to be Baptist. They wouldn't take me. The clique, I wasn't in that clique. So.
Twice I
not
went
one
to
of
like Church of God, and they were both with a girl I was
Yeah,
trying to date.
yeah, you were
in
trying
high
to-
school. Yeah,
You
And
had
then-
ulterior motives.
I grew up
right?
Pentecostal around
There
here.
you go. Yeah, and then I delivered flowers to a funeral at a snake handling church once.
Oh my!
Yeah,
I started in McDowell County.
There were snakes in the casket and stuff. It was
Get out of town.
yeah.
My dad has stories of snake handling and stuff.
And speaking of turnaround in driveways, so this was there's no GPS. We didn't even have physical addresses when I was delivering
Right.
pizza and
Yeah.
flowers. People have no idea where they live. By the way, like we're the third yellow house on the left, they're the fourth blue house on the right. Like, what are you talking about? Where? But
Oh, right. We painted the house.
yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
wait,
yeah.
the trailer.
Oh, wait a minute. I mean, if you were coming from the other way.
Yeah. You got to turn to holler. You got to turn around to come.
The directions that she gave you to get here today, you said were the most moment.
That's what I was looking for right there. Yeah. But I would always keep a can of Skull in my car. That way, if I had to ask directions, I'd get some street cred real quick. Throw a dip
Look,
in.
all you got to do is start.
Snapping it.
Exactly. Yep. One time I was up Key Rock. I turned up a holler I hadn't been up, and I don't know.
That's where Tom lived when I met him.
Key Rock.
Was Key Rock.
Well, a couple hundred yards up the road, there's a big banner, the Fighting Gamecocks, and I was like, "Oh, South Carolina fans,
No.
No.
A little farther, and it's just these plastic 55-gallon drums all over the hillside. Yeah.
I had an uncle
Yeah.
that fought roosters back.
Did he win? No, I'm just.
I don't
Did he
know.
fight the
No, I mean,
roosters, or
I was
the-
being funny.
I have no idea. I believe he did because anything he did, he won,
Right.
and he made
Yeah.
sure he won.
Well, that's a very competitive. I mean,
Yeah, you
the
don't
people
let
who do that are,
He
hardcore.
knew how to stack the deck, dude.
Well, you can't let anybody touch your chicken before, like they'll put Vaseline in its eyes. I'm serious. I was gonna say
They
yeah, I
are
was
very,
just,
very protective. The
Or they'll
same.
put pepper in its nose, like anything to throw the cock
The
off.
cock
you know,
off.
yeah.
True.
Hey, Bob.
The same uncle sold rabbits, and he would sell all the rabbits during Easter. So parents that wanted to give it to their kids, and then like a month later they give it back to him
And
because
he'd feed
could,
his
and then he'd
animals.
resell it.
Oh, I mean that's a pretty good business strategy.
lucrative
there.
as shit,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of impressed.
I want a rabbit at
Look,
the
this
Labor Day
man,
Festival one time.
this man. God
Yeah.
bless you.
I taught him a poker game named Guts. Okay? It's called Guts. Right?
To get them.
And
There's your
This-
trainer.
This is my life. dude.
yeah. Oh yeah.
There's your trainer
Right there. He's after this dog. He hates this dog worse than anything.
Holly, shut up.
Yeah.
Go on. I'm done.
You are getting on everybody's last nerve, bro.
It is hot.
Yeah, go ahead.
Here.
Yeah, don't get excited, guys.
Yeah.
We can also open a window if we need to, and we can send the dog outside.
Let's send a dog outside.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a great idea, in fact.
I'll send him outside.
Yeah. Those Monte Carlo SS's.
You had a Monte Carlo S, or Jeff had a Monte Carlo.
Yeah,
S.
yeah.
in high
Dad
school.
had one, a black and red one for years, a
Yeah.
T-top black and red one.
Yeah, black with the red
Yeah.
stripe.
Yeah.
It was so two things: a graveyard curve going to Wyoming East. You know, if you even thought about hitting the gas, shoop, right around you went, wet or not, dry. And then when Eminem talks about borrowing $20 to start Monte Carlo, that's accurate. And that was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
That was when
Yeah.
gas was 98 cents.
Exactly.
A
It was
Yeah.
$1 a gallon, right?
I remember
Yeah.
boycott. I remember riding my bike when it went to 2. Like I was going to do anything in Pineville. I
Right.
wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
And then
You was going to save $2 a gallon is what you was going to do.
going to Pinnacle Creek where that auto parts store is now. Used to be a
Yeah.
gas station.
Right.
Like going hunting, sitting in the back, just looking. I remember it was closed down, but still had the prices. It was like $1.27. And in my head, I was like, well, no wonder nobody's gonna pay $1.27 for gas. You know?
And we all laughed.
Yeah.
Doing that.
Yeah.
Shit. Now I'm depressed.
A friend of mine's theory is we don't go to the metric system because Americans can't comprehend putting a liter of gas in their car. They would.
Right.
That was difficult in Mexico, getting the liters per kilometer, or kilometers
Right.
per liter, kilometers per liter.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's math, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like you got to.
Well,
There's like
Guys, so-
almost three
It's
three
so
clicks.
much easier.
3 clicks per mile, right?
Yeah.
So
And-
is miles per gallon. That
Yeah.
is also math.
Yeah, it sure is.
To be
It's
specific.
just different math.
We've had it
Right.
dumbed down for us here. You can just look at a chart or something, I'm
Yeah.
sure. Whereas
You can have a chart for the matrix.
My car.
If you need a chart, I'll make you a chart.
we're gonna have to Google that.
Yeah.
please.
I don't know. It's too hard for me.
I'm tired.
But anyway,
No, I worked with a guy. We did like pretty high-end cabinetry in these $1 million houses up there, and the cabinets he used were from Canada. So we used the metric system, and it's so much easier.
So much easier.
Like 0.3 instead of 15
8
16 or
tenths.
8. Yeah,
Right.
exactly. So, yeah.
Yeah. Why didn't I think we missed out? Like, why? It's too late now. But
There is some reason, like I remember reading somewhere
need to
along the
Google
way
that,
why.
y'all.
But
Yeah, we'll
America,
Google that.
that's why.
America.
Because some dude was like, I don't like that. We're going to do it this way. And then this is what happened.
It's like water boils at 100 degrees, freezes at 0. The only reason I know in Fahrenheit it's 212 because West Virginia had a basketball coach that was one of his like little hype things. We got to play at the boiling point, 212 degrees. So now I know.
It's like the Mile High City.
Oh, the coach that's teaching
Yeah.
too.
There you go. I like it. Yep.
That's
Nice.
neat. Yeah.
Well, at least he did.
Coaches
something.
should be teachers.
Yeah.
That's how you remember things, though, is those tricks.
I'm absolutely a memory
You know,
aid
yeah.
person.
And
yeah.
songs.
Yeah.
You know, my
Yep.
stupid human trick is all of my prepositions in alphabetical order because I learned them to music.
Well,
So-
She'll spout them out to me, and
That's,
it's just gibberish.
Pineville was the first word I could spell because of the cheer, It's the truth.
that's
the
legit.
first-
And we
yeah.
And spell
Absolutely.
bananas because of Gwen Stefani.
There you go,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
respect. Look at all of this art that's teaching us shit.
You got Trouble, Travis Scrip, there's one.
This is fun. I can't think of any, but this is great.
That might be all of
What's wrong? Why are you running?
I'm just a bill up here on Capitol Hill, right? That was one I remembered. Sorry, I had to chime in. The kid wanted Cheez-Its, so I'm sorry, y'all.
You're on it.
Awesome.
Same kid.
You're
Yeah, how
I don't
you
want Jesus, I'm teasing.
and isn't it incredible how you can remember lyrics from songs from when you were a child?
Mm-hmm.
But it just takes a little bit of triggering for that to come back. I'm always fascinated.
I
by
listened
that.
to two songs today on the way home because I listen to the radio. I don't listen to podcasts. I'm weird. Okay. And if it's not silent, it's usually just like the radio or whatever's on.
104.5 or-
92.7 is
Okay,
the
okay.
only thing we can get in.
Oh, no,
Yeah, it's
J104
I mean,
or
you get
103.
J104, but they suck now.
They're probably still playing the same songs from when I was 8.
No, they're not even doing that.
It's like
That would
a-
be better, actually.
Really, I
MTV,
wish they
VH1
would. That's
type
kind of what
situation.
92.7 is playing.
J104 was always the station that had the songs that you
That's
didn't
what
hear
I always
here,
used to
right?
listen
Like
to
it
when
was
I would call
somewhere
in,
else, right?
and I would request them
Different markets.
to play a song, and I would have my cassette
Yes,
ready
That's what I was gonna say.
to record.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, and then 103 is more like you'd have more rap stuff on that.
Yes.
One, I feel like
Yes.
Yeah, I listened to 92.7. The two songs I heard this morning was "Total Eclipse of the Heart."
Ayo.
That was we sung it in chorus, and so
So
I
you
know-
sang it
I
with your
know-
full chest.
I know that song.
I
and
love that
then
song.
the song that I danced to in 7th grade was Electric Avenue.
Ayo.
We're gonna
So-
rock down to
Listen
Electric
to the
Avenue.
electric avenue.
Two things.
No,
Two things.
no, that's not it.
Oh, is
That's
that
the
not
melody
it?
to Funky Town.
Oh, it's Funky Town. I thought it was Electric Avenue. My bad.
Wrong.
Wrong.
So Total Eclipse of the Heart has a literal version on YouTube that it like sings with what's going on in the music video. Because you remember how weird those music videos used
Yeah.
to be? It's hilarious. If
Was it like
this-
them
It's
and a
the
beach
same-
and a sun? And
Oh, they're in this
white?
building. There's ninjas. I mean, it's a whole,
I don't-
it's a whole thing. Yeah.
It's true. There should be like a channel that plays
Yeah.
those old music videos. Wouldn't that be
Yeah.
fun?
And then on the way down here, so
I don't know. What we call
I
it?
don't know. Like
MTV. They took that off the air here like recently.
Did they really?
Yeah, they're no longer. They
Because
they
they're-
don't play any music at all.
no, they're
MTV.
worthless.
Like yeah,
They
now
haven't
I
for
think
when-
they actually
yeah.
announced that they're quitting doing that totally. Like,
they should just go away and a new channel should pop up that does.
Why, I mean, why don't you
Change
just
it.
change?
And let's just start
yeah.
from the beginning. Like, let's just start from 1985 or whenever they started, and,
Let's just start
play
playing
those
the old school
stuff
So,
because that's what we want to see.
We were talking about radio, and you know, I teach school, right? And I have a new class, broadcast technology, right? And that's going to be my senior class. And the second 9 weeks is radio broadcasting.
That's cool.
And so I've spent the last 2 days explaining what radio was. and how
Mr.
how to do
Reiser,
it.
why am I in this class called radio?
Yeah.
What does that
What
mean?
is a radio?
Like there were
What'd you call me?
there was 2 or 3 students
Radiohead.
that raised their hand when I said, "Hey, does anybody listen to the radio?" And
So when I just said I listen to the radio when I'm in the car, anybody under
Yeah, you're
25
old.
knew
yeah,
what I'm
that's
talking about.
no.
No.
So they and the
I
one
just need to
and the
go
one
lay down,
guy,
y'all.
the one guy, he was like a sophomore. And you know, I started talking about radio and how to interface with it, and meaning how to listen to it. The guy was like, "Oh, I thought you meant like playing songs from your phone."
Like iHeartRadio, man.
I thought he was going to say like CB radio.
Yeah, CB radio.
And, so after I got rolling, they were like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I remember this."
Oh yeah, I've heard my parents talk about
Right,
this.
like my grandma plays 99.5 in the
in
car.
her 1987 Cavalier.
That's what's on for horseshoes on Sundays at Grandma's house.
So and I'm trying to go through formats, and this kind of thing, like there's classic rock stations and this and that and the other,
They're like, what's classic rock
Yeah.
mean like?
No, they knew all about that because
Nickelback.
they called it divorced dad music, and I was like, yeah, it's pretty accurate. And I said it's also the official sound of anybody working on anything.
Getting anything done.
Right. If your dad's working on a Camaro, you've probably got some classic rock going.
Preach if you're building a porch.
Yeah. Right.
If you're mowing the grass.
Yeah.
If you're
Right. Of
pitching horseshoes in the
pitching
backyard,
Of
man.
doing it. Yeah. Of doing
That's
anything.
on.
So.
Cornhole
But
killed
I-
horseshoes.
Cornhole killed horseshoes.
Yeah, it's so much easier.
It's a whole podcast.
Yeah, hey, that's
Sorry, my
a video killed the radio star, right?
Yes, it is.
That's my theory.
But you're
Yeah,
absolutely
there you go.
right. That is the soundtrack of our lives. Like
Right.
that is what was on
Yeah,
when you weren't watching TV.
you
Right.
had the radio on.
Oh, yeah.
And we
Yeah.
lived up on
The
a
tape
ridge.
thing, that's
Yeah,
We lived up on a ridge, so
Nobody
we got
remembers.
some like Roanoke. We had the river. We had the
Right.
river. The Roanoke radio station was
Yeah.
like 97.2.
we got a bragger.
They
over
did the
here.
top the top 500 rock and roll songs over Labor Day weekend every year. And you want to talk about having your cassette?
Ready?
Me
Yeah.
being introduced to like some of the coolest fucking bands on the planet happened over Labor Day weekend with that rock 500, whatever. Amazing, right? Like I sat there with a cassette tape, but I lived up on the ridge, so I had like the Roanoke channel.
Yeah.
Like so that's how radio,
Right.
a good example of how radio waves bounced back
Yeah.
then. If you didn't have a tower, you couldn't get certain stations
Yeah.
down here.
Our cousins in Pennsylvania introduced us to the Beastie Boys growing up. For sure, we weren't
Love
getting
the
we weren't
Beastie
getting that
Boys.
down
We did
here,
not hear that here. No.
I got exposed to all kinds of hip hop from my Detroit family.
yeah.
Outstanding.
Right, we would
It
have
was on
Coming back to
MTV
Detroit
though.
here.
yeah.
Yeah, but we didn't have cable. We had 4 channels. 2 if you turn the antenna this way, and 2 if you turn the antenna this way.
Here's how dumb I was. I thought like if there was a song on the radio, we pulled in, I'd run in the house real quick and turn on like VH1.
Had it be on? Yeah.
This was like 4 years ago.
Right.
No, okay.
Yeah.
We knew you were.
But
We knew you were special.
I have to.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
You wanted to come on. I mean,
you begged us for this. You got to remember.
and you gifted us maybe our first permanent
we were just like,
piece of
come on.
studio art here.
I know.
so.
That's
We're happy to have you.
No,
Yeah.
people live to get a dig in on poor old Derek.
Oh.
That's the highlight.
Dude,
It's the highlight
I
of their
live
week,
to get
I'm
a
telling
dig
you.
in on anybody.
Oh, listen,
Even
that's her.
myself.
That's her family culture. Okay.
So that's an interesting question. When is your birthday? What's your sign?
Leo. 85,
Oh, interesting.
86, yep.
8586. That's easy. We were talking about awful birthdays.
Police can't remember her kid's
My son was
birthday.
born in 2017, and I suck at math. That's all I'm going to say.
I forgot the month and the day, but sometimes that year escapes me. I got to think for a second.
Well,
Yeah.
that's just a function of being born in the 80s.
Yeah.
There were a lot of waves, radio waves back then.
That's true. That's what we'll blame it on.
Yeah. Sure.
And microwaves.
And just out of curiosity, what did you want to be when you were a kid? Like, what
Well,
you grew up with politicians who said, "Don't be a
Yeah.
politician."
I am not sure.
Or
I
a
don't
cop.
know.
A lot of
You
them were
didn't-
cops. Did you want to be a cop?
I did not. I don't ever remember wanting to be a cop. No,
Yeah.
not.
My-
At any point.
Yeah, my family were coal miners, and I said, "Oh hell no!"
Yeah.
So I went to WVU. I didn't know anything about whitewater,
Oh, cool.
And they had this new class called Adventure West Virginia, and it took place at University 101 for a week in the summer. We just went all around the state, like backpacking, camping, and whatnot. And
Heck yeah.
Oh.
yeah, I know,
Can I
right?
sign up?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and the last day we went whitewater rafting, and I loved it. I went back the next spring and trained to be a raft guide. So.
Heck
What
yeah.
years did you raft?
05 to around 2012, and then I was in Michigan for 4 years, and then 16 to about 23, I guess, but not solid, just weekend
Right.
warrior kind of stuff. When I went to Colorado, I did that, and then I worked at a food truck a couple evenings a week, which it was Mediterranean, so I cannot
Heck yeah.
hear somebody say
Gyro.
gyro. and then they look at me like I'm this big prude. It's just not how
It's
you
not
say
how
it.
you say it. man.
How do you say it?
Hero. It's a hero.
Hero.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you got it. You got it.
I was
a
like,
hero.
why I say it like that?
If you
What's
order,
wrong?
I'm sure if you order, they're gonna be like, "What are you, a gyro?"
I'm a
Is that what you're
dual.
talking-
I'm a dual. Like I'll say gyro, euro. Like I kind of do like a
I
slash.
I say GIF and not GIF.
That's
Hey.
up for I mean, that's
yeah, but he's like the Greek name is not up for
Yeah.
debate. That's been that
So
way.
it's Hyro. It's Hyro.
it's hero.
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 Like,
Gyro. Gyro.
I'm really glad I could bring this to everybody's attention. This might be a-
Yeah. Make fun of the hillbilly one.
I'm sure there's more out there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of them. That's like I thought it was Giro. It's fine.
Okay.
oh no.
I want to know what man out there ordered it. It was a gyro and then started to. Never mind.
Another thing, when I was in Colorado, I kept seeing road signs for gulch, like Mushroom Gulch, Spruce Gulch, So finally I asked a local, I was like, what's this gulch thing? And they're like, well, it's a gap between the mountains, not as wide as a valley, usually a creek. I was like, that's a holler.
holler.
That's a holler.
Don't try to church it up, bud. That's a holler, man.
It sounds like a
Gulch.
Yeah.
That's the West.
Did you-
That's just a.
It's
you
true.
know.
You got Flaming Gulch, Utah. Like there's
Yeah.
gulches out
The
there.
first time I've heard a gulch was on Bugs Bunny.
Yeah. Well, he was out
There you
west,
go.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't that out west?
And then to the coal mining thing,
Yeah.
it was really cool. Like the history is so much newer there. You can still see these abandoned coal shafts just driving through. I played
Wow.
Doc Holliday's piano at a bar in
Oh hell yeah.
yeah.
So I was going to ask you, what was your
Leadville,
favorite part of
Leadville.
Colorado when you were out there?
Well, let's see. I didn't get to do much. I only had like 3 days off the whole summer, which is why you go out there. I lived in a like abandoned school bus. You know what I mean? That was
All
pretty
right.
cool. It was free. It was gutted out. We had
Heck yeah.
couches in there, bed and whatnot.
Nice.
Actually, so there was that, and then probably 25 Barneys, they called them, which is like 70s and 80s style work vans that were gutted
Nice.
out, and that's where all the raft guides live. And I was in the bus, so I felt like I went back with royalty. You know?
Right.
Right.
Every morning I'm standing up, putting my clothes on, looking at all the peasants in the lot, their little
Right.
vans, yeah.
In their little
Yeah,
buses,
it's sweet.
in their little vans.
We
Yeah.
we were out
Penthouse.
we were out in California, Cucumber and Company, right? And we were doing a gig in LA, and we had some gear that was damaged when we shipped it out there. And it actually, impacted us, and we weren't able to get the live stream done the way it should have been. And my boss, the CEO, Dwayne, was like, "I'm not sending this stuff again." He's like, "You boys, you don't have to be at home for a few days, right?" And we were like, "Well, I guess, we can make that happen." And he was like, "All right, well, we're renting a truck and we're driving back." Because, that was it. He didn't want any more of his, thousands of dollars of production gear damaged. So we were like, well, darn,
Shucks.
I got to drive, cross country, I wonder what route we could take. And of course we went, straight through Vegas, and bless us, we didn't stop. Okay. We did not stop in Vegas, even though I wanted to.
What was the point? Yeah, I'd have
That was
avoided
just
that
to lose
thing.
money.
and so we went into a little town called Parachute in Colorado.
Yeah, Parachute, Colorado.
And
Western
as you go in through, the back end of Colorado there, the highway, I don't know which one it is, but it is right next to the Colorado River. And you could see rafts with guided rafts going down
In
as you're
the
as you're
gulch.
as you're driving,
Town.
and there's
Get out of town.
this giant rock faces on both sides.
That
and,
is the thing about Colorado, is everywhere you look, it's kind of like
Yeah.
It's
it's
all day
staggering.
long. Yeah,
It
you're
really
just
is.
living
Staggering.
there is just, it's inspiring.
Yeah.
The lack of oxygen though
Yes,
is a real
that's a real
thing.
thing,
I mean, you
absolutely.
get to where
So-
you recognize that you're constantly struggling
Yeah.
to breathe.
I went from Mexico for a week and a half,
Yeah.
sea level, so the highest point in West Virginia is about 5,000 feet, Spruce Knob. We were at 8,000 feet, looking up at the 14,000 foot.
And 8,000
peaks.
is no joke. My mom, who's in very good shape, like my mom, this was 15 years ago, 20 years ago, excellent shape, comes out to see me in Colorado and gets out of the car and walks up the steps, and she's like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I thought I was in better shape than this. And I'm like, you are in excellent shape. There's just no oxygen. Like, your body is struggling, right? And that was at like maybe little over a mile high, like
Yeah.
where I lived in Lyons. So I lived in Lyons for right outside of Estes Park. So
Okay.
you go, out of Boulder north, right along the Front Range, and then, excuse me, turn left,
Hang a Louie.
up into the mountains, right? And you were just slightly higher than Denver. Like, what is Denver, like 50
Yeah, right.
to
They call it Mile High
80 or whatever, right? The Mile High
Yeah.
City.
Splitting hairs here. Yeah.
So how you age there is different.
Yeah.
How your body interacts with your environment is different. Like, it's just a different experience. And if you're from here, and this is a rainforest, right? So you go from a rainforest to high desert,
Yeah.
you feel it. I felt it.
Oh,
The
I
thing
was
about
thinking
that is
about a week,
the lack
yeah.
of trees there.
Oh,
was
absolutely.
really bothersome
Green,
to me.
yeah, you
And
missed
that's
the
where that
green.
moisture comes too. Like, and then I'd
Yeah.
come back here in May, right? When it's like,
And it's like
the air is so oxygen, all the leaves
and
are
cool
new,
and
right?
Beautiful.
So that's where I learned how to drink water. You sit like
Yeah, because
because
you,
have
to.
to.
You absolutely have
drink. And what I thought was enough water, like a light breakfast out there, maybe like
I've hurt myself
Yeah.
by not drinking enough water in Colorado.
that's the key. Like you just have
I
to.
didn't realize that.
I turned my skin inside out. You've seen Goosebumps, where you get goosebumps.
Mm-hmm.
My skin was so dehydrated, my skin was puckered in.
You were like SpongeBob when
Oh.
he's all dried up.
Yes, that's exactly what I was like.
I'm fine.
And it was critical.
Way to paint
This
a
was a
picture for the
this is a dehydrated person. I was in a critical situation, and I was maybe 100 yards from my car,
I'm sorry for laughing.
and couldn't. Well, no, it's funny. that's an image that's really funny. But
I love you, and I'm glad you live.
so am I. And if I hadn't been with professionals, I probably wouldn't have.
Right.
But I had people around me who had like little pouches of yogurt and shit like that in their pack that is intended to put you back into, where you need to be.
Yeah.
But that was like Pikes Peak 14ers, started out at 9,000 feet, hiked all the way up to 14, came back down, and 100 yards from the car, I couldn't go any further. Great example of like, and Ricky feels it like,
Yeah,
he's hollering at Ollie, but it's like, nah. It was, and it's not Ollie's fault. It was my fault for being an idiot. But it was eye-opening to me. And when I looked at my skin was wrong.
Yeah.
It shouldn't look like that, right?
Another thing that I didn't think I'd realize. So Colorado, when I went, you think West Virginia mountains, you're going up and down. No, there's hundreds of miles between mountain ranges sometimes. So it's straight. Unless you're going over a pass. So just how far behind the 8-ball West Virginia was with like infrastructure, roads and whatnot.
Yes.
Much more difficult to, have all that stuff.
And it's hard. Everything there is hard.
Well, you just heard and felt the blast because they're trying to build a road.
It's the first time I felt that here. Like that was
It happens about wild, 5. It happens every evening
around 5 o'clock,
and it's getting closer because they're getting down closer to our level.
They are, yeah.
You can see it.
Do you guys remember when Pinnacle Creek went dry for like 2 years? I mean, I was a little kid. It went almost. You could walk from the mouth to the head and not get your feet wet.
Huh. I don't. When was this? What year?
This would have been in the late 80s, early 90s.
Okay.
I was probably 5, something like that.
All right. I got here in 92.
Okay.
So that might have been then, but
that might have been when I was moving back and forth to North Carolina.
I was gonna say that was mine strikes. Like there was mines were striking, and
my dad.
Yeah, the bedrock. It had to be,
Right.
And they sunk the water table.
Yeah, because it was. I mean, dry, and they stocked that with trout. That was wild.
Yeah.
Has it recovered?
I hope I'm right. I swear I remember that when I was a kid. They stock it again.
That's good.
Well,
I mean, recovered's a.
Our creek's dry right now.
Yeah, ours goes
right
dry right up here.
But if you go down the road, just down to the motorcycle club,
Ghost Riders.
There's water out there.
Yeah, so.
And it's coming out of that artesian well.
Have you walked it?
Right here. I walked it up this way and found where the water like disappears.
Right.
It's right on the edge of our property down here, about 200-300 yards, and I've got video.
I was gonna say, I got a drone at something.
And when you think about how the water table works, that's coming from somewhere. Like that's not necessarily groundwater. Some of it may be groundwater, but a lot of your surface damage around here is why you've lost the water table that comes down into that.
Well, I think
Gulch.
What I think what's going.
And also this road,
what's going on.
This road has changed it too.
Absolutely.
They whether they did it intentionally or not, they have broken that water table here,
So
and
it's
it's going
underneath
down.
and-
That's what I'm saying.
The wells were sunk by U.S. Steel here long time
Right.
ago.
Yeah.
But did your creek go dry after that?
No.
Okay.
No.
And
This
our
is
creek was
recent.
only it dries up in the summertime, and usually when the rain starts coming back in the winter.
When it starts doing that,
I know Ollie's barking.
when it started doing that artesian well popped up.
past
So it's going underground
3 years or so.
and then popping
Pushing
up,
back up.
down here.
Yeah.
2 years.
So and people are like, oh, that doesn't happen.
I love when people are like, that thing that you're experiencing isn't
Yeah,
really
right.
happening.
We're
like-
living it. We're living it.
Right.
Okay.
Like trust me, it's there. Whether you
It doesn't
want
make
to admit
sense.
it.
Exactly. Like it shouldn't
Also,
be
I
like
know it doesn't make sense to you. However, it is happening to us.
Yeah.
One of my most favorite facts about the bridge, New River Gorge Bridge, I can't remember if it's the north or south side, but it was like an ant farm with all the abandoned coal mines. They had to pump concrete in the side of the mountain for like 6 months, 24 hours a day,
fascinating.
just to
Wow.
get a base. You know what I mean?
Wow.
That
I
makes
didn't know
sense,
that,
though.
but there
Yeah.
was that whole area was mined out
Absolutely.
with Kmore.
And that's how they knew where the coal was initially, was the river cuts.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
where the river was, it had eroded away, and you could see the coal outcrops
Outcropping.
sticking out, right?
Coming in on the Coalfield Expressway, the new blasting towards the
yeah.
end, you can see the coal seam. It's cool. I've brought a few people down here, you know, for their first time. My son, my girlfriend, and it's cool to show them.
It
you
is
know.
cool to
It's,
show them that cut.
Yeah.
I take people there all the time. I'm like,
So this was I brought my son down. This is his first time out of the city. Like,
Yeah.
there's double.
That's so cool.
Metro Detroit
had
has
Pinnacle
double
hot
the
dogs.
He sure did. But,
outstanding.
yeah, there's double the population of the entire state of West Virginia.
In that town.
Right.
In Metro Detroit. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So what was his experience like?
It was.
well, he
we
met
had a
me at
blast.
Pinnacle Driving
yeah,
because he's like, "Hey,
Yeah.
hey, I know you." And I'm like, "This is little town living, but this is how you will see everybody at Pinnacle Driving."
It was on the way down. My buddy has a stray cat. Chimney Shack's the name of it in Morgantown, a little roadside place. Really like excellent food. But stopped there, hung out with him for probably 45 minutes, an hour. Drove down. Actually took him. We pulled up pictures of where Mountaineer Field was over on Sunnyside. And went over there and like he could pick out Woodburn Hall in the background. So that was pretty cool for him.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we get down here a little late. The next morning, just doing the lap through Pineville, what you do, you know what I mean?
Sure.
I grew up in Hinton, man.
Jamming
There's
out.
There's a lap.
There's a
The
lap.
lap, yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, not
Sometimes you do it twice.
even- some nights.
Oh, we do it,
It's
you
Pineville
know.
500. Or
That's
whatever,
right.
You know. But he halfway through, he's like, "Why does everybody wave at you?" I was like, "Cause that's what you do. You're nice to people. You just wave, bud."
If someone's not waving at you, then they're not from here and they're suspicious.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Even if you're not from somewhere and you're in a little town, you wave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, "Hey," and they're like, "Oh, she's cool."
Yeah.
You got your different waves, you know, like one finger.
Yeah, one
Yeah.
finger, two
Yeah,
finger.
How's,
Mom,
how's his family?
Yeah, that's mom and him. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, I ain't,
Bestie.
I ain't seen you in a while. How you doing?
How's
Yeah.
mom and them?
So I had a funny experience at the grocery store the other day. My little tiny Hinton Kroger, right? That it's like I kind of avoid it sometimes because it takes me a
Exactly.
long time to shop if I go in there because I see people I know, right?
Yeah.
And so I walked in and a lady I hadn't seen in a long time, she's like, "Hey, how you doing?" I'm like, "I'm good." And she's like, "How's your dad?" And I said, "I don't know. You've probably seen him since I have. How is he?" And she busted out laughing and said, "I saw him yesterday. He's good." And so I tell my dad this story, and he says basically he had the exact conversation with her about me.
All right.
About, "Oh, how's Elise? I haven't seen her." "Well, I saw her here the other day. She said she was doing good. She also said she hadn't seen you in a while." So
Basil, I think you need to go hang out with Elise.
we need to hang out with each other. We've
Yeah.
reached that point where like our grocery store employees are communicating for
Even
us.
the
Yeah.
town
Yeah.
knows that Elise
Don't
and
worry.
Basil have not hung
Don't
out
worry.
in a while.
Basil's doing fine. Okay. I saw him yesterday. He's doing good.
So I gotta just say, like, when you grow up in a place like that and then you experience places like Detroit
Yeah.
or Denver or Houston
Yeah.
or New
Yeah.
Orleans or Florida, places in Florida that are just profoundly different.
Yeah, it's different.
It's always fun. And I always say that I think we can adapt to those places much more easily than the people who come from there to here, because going from absolutely everything at your fingertips 24 hours a day to having to drive an hour to get what you really need is a totally different experience.
Oh my God, I have a story, and I wanted to talk about
didn't adapt
this.
very well.
So one of the things I've done since the last time we all got together was I took Sarah to
The
Indiana.
Oracle.
Yeah, the
Yep.
Oracle.
Appalachian Oracle.
Whatever episode she was on, she come here.
Yeah.
But I took her to Indiana because she had to do some sort of doctoral thing, whatever, smart girl shit.
She presented her PhD. I
Yeah,
think.
she did really good smart girl shit.
That's cool.
It's a way better way of saying it.
Yeah.
I'm
She did some doctor shit. I
Yeah.
don't know what happened.
Look, she did some really cool smart girl shit. And I got to stay in an apartment, an Airbnb. I drove her. I was like I was her chauffeur, and I take her to class.
I love it.
Okay, honey, do
And
good.
I'm like, bye. Good luck.
proud
You're
of
gonna
you.
nail it. And so, but we stayed in an Airbnb that was in like right downtown Lafayette, and it was a Saturday, and I dropped her off, and then I come back, and there's a farmer's market 2 blocks down, and I'm in my I think I was wearing my PJs, and my hair was in my freaking buff and everything, and I'm just. hey! I spent like $100 and some on like all kinds
Farmers
of
market shit.
I talked to so many people. I gave them my sticker for my podcast. They're like, I have a podcast. I'm like, oh yeah, and like I met so many cool people in Lafayette. They're great.
Lafayette, Indiana.
In Lafayette, Indiana, right next to Purdue.
Okay.
And there was also a protest that was the same weekend of the No Kings protest.
Oh, there you go.
So we had the farmers market, and then an hour later was the protest, like a block over.
That's everything you want.
and
That's
so
all
I
your
was-
tips.
I was like, Lindsay, don't go to jail, okay?
Yeah, and Sarah's like,
I can't get
"Don't
to
go
you till
jail.
tomorrow. So
You have to pick me up at 8.
Don't go to jail. I need you
And
to.
I'm like, look at these assholes. And she's like, don't go to jail.
and she was talking about assholes that were harassing the people. Like
There was this guy.
protesting.
I didn't know that they did this outside of West Virginia, but they were rolling coal on the protesters. I had no idea that they did this in other places.
I've been out rednecked in Michigan several times.
It's
yeah.
incredible.
I
I've
was-
seen some Florida.
Yeah.
I
Central
was on-
Florida has
Oh,
some
Florida.
of the biggest rednecks. On.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
That's
yeah.
different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whole category over here. Yeah.
They're
Those-
gator.
they're
They
crackers.
wrestle with the gators. That's
That's
right.
the-
That's
they're
all
crackers.
different.
They call
Florida
them-
crackers, right?
Yeah.
Crackers.
No,
And-
it's seriously like
on.
that's where that comes from. They
cracking of the
they
whip?
were cowboys in Florida. There's much more cattle in Florida than
Yes,
there are in Texas.
That's true.
A lot of people don't know
And,
that.
they had a long history of cattle in Florida before it was beach Florida, right? And so the cowboys would push these cattle with leather whips, and they would just crack them, not smack them really any, but they would just, that noise would hurt them, right? So they called them Florida crackers. So that's what that's where that comes from. It's kind of like redneck, right?
Yeah.
Which comes from the mine wars, but
and they're red bandanas.
but yeah, there's some real redneck crackers down in Florida for sure.
Yeah.
We lived in next to Lake Okeechobee down there, and it was eye opening, because Florida is not all beaches and cities, right? And when you get out there, it's swamp. Yeah. It's wild.
If you're not in
been-
the city, well, I mean, even if you're in the city, but Florida was where I was the minority everywhere I went. I was the only white person in most of the places that I was at. And it's very eye-opening.
And I think that you were in southern Florida, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. In central Florida, it's as white as you can get.
No, we were in we were in between all of the cities.
Yeah,
we were,
in the swamp.
yeah. I mean, we're country
I bet
people.
the food was amazing, though. I bet there were places that had good food. Both of you are kind of like,
it's,
Well, it all depends on where you went.
yeah, of
Yeah.
course, yeah.
You know.
Well, I went to Mexico. Me and the girl I was with, we were the only two white people in town.
Same in Japan.
San Pancho and Lodo Marcos were the two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were in Sayulita.
Everybody should feel like
but
that at
it's-
some point.
And
in their
I
life.
think it's
loved
very
it. I
important
loved
for
it so
somebody,
much.
for people to feel that way.
I have a
went-
picture at a
Understand.
professional baseball game when I was in Japan as an exchange student. I went to a
nice.
professional baseball game because they love their baseball, especially 30 years ago. They love
Oh, they still love it.
Yeah.
The hero of the
Oh my
World
God.
Series is from Japan.
I know. I've been watching it, and
Yeah.
I'm kind of reminiscent. Like this
Right.
is why this is present on my mind, is because of this man who's playing baseball. Because I mean, they're incredible athletes. They
Sure.
they really truly are. And so there's a picture of me in the stadium,
Oh, nice.
with my blonde hair down to my
very
waist
cool.
because I was 17 years old,
I bet
right?
you stick out like a sore
I'm the
thumb.
only white blonde person there. Like, there's no other blonde hair in the 1,000 people you see in the background of this picture, right?
Yeah.
But what a I'm telling you, be a minority once in your life.
Yeah.
And see what it's like.
It will change how you view the world because
You're
you
right.
all of a sudden
and how you treat people who are a
exactly.
minority.
Yeah.
We
Right.
went-
You spend a lot less time talking. You spend a lot less time being so overt, right?
Yeah.
You observe a lot more.
Well, you can't act like you're at your corner bar, so to speak. You know what I mean? You're not.
Yeah.
These people don't know you. They.
Yeah.
Well, so we go down, fly down, get a rental car. It's like an hour drive. Get set up the Airbnb like 9 o'clock. She's like, I'm going to go to bed. She's a world traveler. It's like, this is my first night out of America. I'm walking downtown.
You're
you know?
going to
Right.
bed?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I went
With all
downtown.
of this stuff?
Right, yeah, new places, people. So I went downtown by myself, had fun, came back. Next morning, we were going to get breakfast. There's all these locals like, hey, Derry. She's like, what'd you do last night? I don't know, apparently
I was the
smile,
life of the
attempt at
party,
broken
man.
Spanish gets you a long way down here,
You were the coolest
love
white
that,
guy
yeah.
around.
Yeah.
Who else was out there with?
I did
They were
stick
like, look
out.
at this crazy gringo.
Tall white guy. They're like,
They talked about
Yeah.
you. They had a blast with
Yeah.
you.
I got turned around going back, actually. So, there's dogs barking at me. I'm in a neighborhood. And I'm just like, my hands open. Look, Lo Siento, amigo.
Lo
Lo
siento.
siento. I'm sorry.
With the Pineville accent. I gotta say, the Pineville accent.
Yeah.
When they
Yeah.
put me in a room with Sarah, and she was from Pineville, and Sarah, I hope you see this, and if not, I'll tag you in it. One of my favorite things I always said is when I would watch Jerry Springer, because I didn't have cable growing up. So when I got to college, I got to see Jerry Springer. And it was like,
us from Pineville knew all about
Absolutely,
Jerry
right.
Springer.
That's your sick bag.
Right.
There,
That was our lunchtime, bro.
and she would come in, and she'd say that. She'd say, "You watching that trash?"
Yeah.
She called it. And I was
Yeah.
like, "I'm doing what?" She said, "That trash." That was so Pineville.
Yeah.
People ask me what the most West Virginia things I can think of. One of them's got to be if the holler kids don't want to go to school the next day, they just cut 3 or 4 trees across the road, so the bus can't get up
Yeah.
there.
No lies to tell.
Yeah.
And then
Still works.
Bossy Bingo. Apparently, not everybody knows about Bossy Bingo, where they square off the football field, turn
Right.
the cow loose, and whichever one it craps in.
That
first.
that was Chief's favorite fundraiser.
Yeah.
You know,
Never heard of Bossy
rest in
Bingo.
peace, Ron Mayhew.
On the football field.
Yeah, and Chief would sell tickets to Bossy Bingo, and we'd buy new uniforms.
I remember it at Mullins too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
There is a short story or a song or maybe a full feature film about this somewhere.
Oh, I could write that. Yeah.
You could totally
Sure.
write
Absolutely.
this. I didn't know this, but what a creative way to raise money.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a donkey basketball.
Yeah.
Like we had donkey basketball in Summers County, which I think is did you all have that down here? Like it's kind of a rare thing, but
I've heard of it, but
You've
we
heard-
didn't.
right.
We didn't have it here.
right. And so I've never heard of this Bossy
Yeah.
Bingo, but I think it's comparable to that.
The flood of 2001, one of the houses I helped clean up after, they stored the duckies for the rubber ducky race from the bridge. Any crack or crevice you could find, there was a rubber ducky stuffed into. It was
Because the
Because it
floodwaters.
flooded.
yeah. Not to make
Like-
light of the flood, but
Yeah.
it was,
We're like, plug.
I mean-
this was before cell phones, so you didn't have a video
no,
or pictures
no,
of this. You just have the
no,
mental image of
Yeah.
it. Right?
I didn't even have like the Nokia thing. I
Right.
don't believe,
No,
I mean,
not
Not in
then.
Pineville.
Not in 2001.
Oh, that was another West
Service
Virginia
in
thing. So the gas station in Salisville. I can't think of the name right now, but anyway,
It's an easy stop
Well, it's
now.
easy stop now. It was Jason's.
Jason's.
Yeah.
Well, there's that wide spot right there, and
Yeah.
there's a payphone. Everybody knew the number to that payphone. Like,
Yeah.
You'd be chilling, and then
Yeah.
the phone would ring like, "Hey, such and such there." No.
No.
not
No,
there.
you ain't here right now.
For real.
All
That's
right, I'll
And
call
then
back later.
you could tell somebody I'll be at Jason's
Yes.
in
Yeah,
about an hour.
yeah.
Call me, and then I'll run down there.
Yeah.
Whatever
Yeah.
it was, because there was no cell phone signal.
No.
You know?
1996, calling home from town in Hinton.
Yeah.
There was a cell
I think
phone.
all of the
Or a
Remember having
pay-
to push like
payphones.
100 numbers to be able to call. Remember?
Yeah, yeah.
At least 100. That's
Right.
a low estimate, probably.
I think that all
But
the
we remembered 'em.
payphones
We knew
in
them.
Pineville had like the same, like they were like 0007, 0008 or something like that. They were like, the numbers were very close together.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
Right.
Where were the payphones?
There was one at Cowshed.
Yeah, there was one on Main
at
Street.
Lackey's.
Yeah.
There was one on Main
Yeah.
I
Well,
love
it's
it.
not Lackey's anymore. That's also Easy Stop.
Well, it's Ole Jose, isn't it?
No,
these days wasn't that where?
No.
No, it's
Lackey's.
where Easy Stop was.
Easy
You're right.
Stop.
One
Yeah.
day, my
Yeah.
brother and I were riding through town right when that opened. He was like, I can imagine these two hillbillies driving by. I'm like, Old Joe's. We got to try Old Joe's sometime.
We call it Ole Josie. It's Ole Josie.
Anyway, go ahead. my bad.
I still call it Old Jose's.
Old
You know.
Jose. I mean, I'd eat at Old Jose's.
Yeah,
for sure.
that's what are we gonna do Old Jose's today, or what are we doing?
When
What
I
is
was
it?
in Michigan,
I think it's Ole Jose.
It's Ole Jose.
I was like,
Yeah.
I found my friends in Pontiac, like friends to this day, good friends, and they're Puerto Ricans and Mexicans. It's the closest thing to rednecks I could find. They'd have
Yeah.
these family picnics on the weekends,
Yeah.
playing volleyball, swimming pool, cooking. You know, it was
Yeah.
they
And the
were
parks, they
welcoming.
love they like. I remember in Colorado and in Texas, the public parks were used by families. Like entire families would
Well,
go
we used
cook
to
out.
go.
Yeah,
It didn't
We
hurt
always
that
had
I
a
crushed the
family
ball
reunion.
in softball, so I played softball too. They
oh,
liked me
they
'cause of
always
that.
wanted
Oh,
us
yeah.
to go.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
always played ball, softball, and
Yeah, I've met a lot of people where I move around a lot. That's
Yeah.
Since I graduated, 4 years the longest I've stayed in one place.
Right.
So I'm starting to lose that fleeting urge.
it took me a while.
moving.
I was
gets to be-
35 before I settled down
We moved-
because
We moved a few times, and we lived in Florida, and we ended up back here somehow. It's a place that we felt like we were at home, right? And our son has special needs, and I know all of the people at the Board of Education. I know most of the community, and I know that he's going to be taken care of.
I'm not
And,
saying he wasn't,
you know,
because he had some great people.
he had great people, and speaking of being the only white person,
Ricky was the only white.
Ricky was the
boy
only
in
white
the-
kid in the Moorhaven schools.
right on.
for like 4 years.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
preschool.
That's
Yeah.
so cool.
Nice.
So
He learned Spanish.
I
He knew Spanish. He was
Yep.
speaking.
Went to a basketball tournament once in Virginia, and me and mom, dad, and I were the only 3 white people in the gym.
Yeah.
I hadn't experienced that before. I was like 15. I was like,
Yeah, it's
different
a
too.
totally different vibe, and
Yeah.
I think it's great.
I learned my role in that team: defense and rebound. That's what you do.
there you go.
I was a project manager at a juvenile detention center in Southern Florida, and I was one of the only white employees too. So even with like my coworkers, I was I was a minority, and so me and Tom were talking about this, and I was like, a lot of time in Florida, I would just sit there and just observe and watch and listen to how all of
Absolutely.
these different cultures were just colliding and living
Yeah.
together and trying to figure things out. And I was telling him about this one time I was out with my coworkers, and it was back in like 2008 or 9 when the fashion was having the rosaries. And
Yeah,
I had a Latino coworker and a gay one, and the gay one was wearing his rosary, and the Latino said, "That's disrespectful." And they got into it hot
Yeah.
and heavy
Oh,
over
jeez.
this whole rosary.
Yeah.
And me being a Pentecostal hillbilly, I'm like,
what's the problem?
what?
Yeah.
Why? And
What-
then he would be like, "Cause it's a da 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 da," and then he's like, "This
He's
is my
probably very-
fashion statement. I'm wearing whatever the fuck I
He's
want,"
probably-
and I'm
he's
like,
probably very Catholic,
very, very
Yeah,
Catholic.
yeah.
And so I'm sitting there going, "This is fascinating," because
Right.
we never had a conversation like this
Yeah.
in Pineville.
Yeah.
And so it was just that. I think that moment was very eye opening for me, in that
That's why travel's so important. Yeah, you
Cultures,
have
all these
to-
different cultures.
Yeah.
Like what one little piece of something will mean to one person is just a fashion statement to another. And then this one is like, what the fuck is that? You know, and I know y'all grew up Catholic, but I grew up Pentecostal.
Did you hear the Catholic?
I know y'all grew up, listen.
Sinners.
I know y'all- and the first time I ever went to, I grew up Pentecostal. Everybody knows what Pentecostal is,
Yeah,
hooting and
yeah.
hollering and all that shit. And
Fucking crazy is what you think
Right.
of. It's like,
Exactly.
woo.
So I was in chorus class in high school, and so during Christmas time, we had to go to all the churches and sing Christmas songs. The first time I ever went to a Catholic church was to sing chorus. I freaking fell asleep in that place because I was like, this is so quiet.
So
And their singing was very mono, and I'm like,
Yeah, it's a script.
it's a ritual.
where's
Like,
the
that's-
Holy Ghost?
That's actually why I liked that part of that church was the ritual. It was
Yeah.
I knew exactly what was going to happen. Like there was body movement. There was, a rhythm.
We could
to-
have 3
and
or
it
4
was-
people just fall out.
I know,
like we
right?
don't know what's going to happen.
And so in between that
the
is
Holy
the Baptist.
Ghost will tell
Right.
us what's going
Right?
to happen.
So the Baptists are in between that. I took my Baptist best friend, my Southern Baptist best friend, to my Catholic church when we were like 15, 16 years old, right? And she's, following along and kneeling and standing and sitting and kneeling and standing. And there's a 2-year-old in the pew, like in front of us or the next one up. And about the third kneel and stand, the little kid goes, up, down, up, down, up, down. And my best friend looks at me and she goes, I was thinking the same thing. And it's like, yeah, there's like this body movement thing that goes along with these memorized
Right.
prayers. But some of us that resonates with, like, I'm a ritual person. I like that type of meditative prayer. I have talked on this on previous episodes about, not buying into the ideology as much as appreciating that type of worship, right?
Yeah.
Because I feel like the community is there. Like some of the finest, nicest people in my community are members of the Catholic Church. They're just genuinely good people. And they're there for the right reasons. But some of the most profound racism I've ever experienced came from members of that same church.
right.
And so, not to say they're not good people, but it's hard to reconcile that, right?
Yeah.
And so, especially when you're a teenager and you're, working in a community where race is, if you grew up in these hills, when we grew up, race was a big issue. Like, people can act like that was in the 60s and 70s, when in fact that was like they were burning crosses in yards when I was in grade school and middle school, right? Like there was active that level of racism in my community.
We always say that Wyoming County or even West Virginia is several years behind, or several
Absolutely.
decades behind everywhere
So,
else.
For our age group, it's really important to acknowledge being a minority. And I love that we had this conversation about being the only white person in the room and why it's so important to understand that dynamic, right?
Yeah.
It's our generation that's changing that narrative, and I'm really proud of that, but it's an uncomfortable space to be in sometimes, and
Yeah.
so I think those external experiences and bringing that back here, knowing that about Ricky and how like he was the only white kid there for a number of years, how that shaped him, how exciting that is that he had that experience, because that just deepens and enriches you.
I'm extremely lucky to have Kathy and Wilburn both my parents, because I was taught none of that.
Right.
That was never even an issue.
It's not part of
I
your
thought.
conversation,
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. So
And that's why he
I
was
could-
able to be.
I could very well have a "Make America Great Again" hat on, where I grew up.
Yes.
Right. A lot of us do.
Yeah, us and the Englands were the only ones that have Obama signs. I
Right.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it makes a difference in how you
That
interact
might
with your
not be
world.
accurate. Just,
Might be a generalization, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just going to do a time check. We got maybe it's almost
I know
7.
everybody has to drive, and
Yeah.
I appreciate
Yeah.
everybody traveling to us to
Well, you have the
Absolutely.
equipment.
Yeah. Thanks for
do
coming.
this.
Thank
and,
you guys for having me. I've been excited for
and
this for
talking,
days.
and
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad I finally got the stickers to you.
For sure.
I gotta
can't
say,
wait
I
to-
think
there's-
we've laughed harder on this podcast than we have in a while because
Yeah.
we've had some really funny conversations.
And that's what I
on it.
wanted. And this is like the start of our season 2. We have some things that we've been trying to cook up and trying to do. And
And we should let folks know that Maria Gano is our next scheduled guest.
next
She
week
is
we plan on having Maria Gano in.
a well-known activist in West Virginia and also just a hell of
She's
a
a
good
freaking
person.
legend.
She's
Okay,
yeah, like-
let's just go ahead and say the legend Maria Gano
Absolutely.
is supposed to be here next week.
And we're really excited to chat with her. I am personally, because I feel like we're at a time in this state where if we can all kind of harness the energy we have and kind of get on the same page about some major issues, that we have a lot of potential right now.
We absolutely do.
To make some big changes in this state. But what's happening consistently in our groups is, first of all, people doing dumb shit and not taking accountability for it. Second of all, unnecessarily attacking other people and just talking shit for no reason, which spends time and energy and resources that we don't have to waste. And there have just been some things happening that we want to call out and unpack and kind of, it might be cathartic for those of us who
I'm
have been
ready.
dealing with this for like 15 years to just say, look, we can't be successful if we continue to fight each other. The hillbilly
It's true.
That
shootout.
hillbilly shootout.
The hillbilly
that-
shootout has
that
got to
people
stop,
keep getting
right?
offended over, but keeps happening.
I have a theory that the left and the right have a lot more in common with each other than the 1%. Who
Yeah, for sure.
Well,
And this
That's
is
what
our
we-
fundamental West Virginian understanding, right? Is it's
Yeah.
never
Yeah.
been about color.
Right.
It's never been about who you align with in this
Yeah.
state.
Well,
It's
it
always
drives-
been about the people
God, it drives me
being,
nuts.
It's just, yeah, it's-
those who abuse and those who are manipulating. And there's so many more of us than them, right?
Well, the thing is that if you read any of the stupid comments that we get on like TikTok, they're like, one, move away or vote blue.
That's not
Okay.
going to solve anybody's
how it
problem,
works.
right?
Okay. First of all,
any of this works.
Right.
they don't really understand that we
Right.
were historically Democrat.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
It was-
And that Bernie took every fucking county in this state.
Yeah, like there's a deeper
It's the
dive
type
here,
of
right?
Democrat that has been pushed on us that we
It's-
don't like.
we
on the
do
local
not
level,
want.
you had to run as a Democrat.
You had to.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but then the Republican president. It was very
Yeah.
strange to me.
For
So,
several voting cycles, that's what we looked like. We were a
Yeah.
blue state at the local level who went red in the elections. And I
Yeah.
remember as I was studying politics in college, that was fascinating. And West Virginia was one of those states that you looked at and you're like, why is that? But
Yeah.
it was also one of those states that if you unpacked it, you understood. We knew at the local level certain needs had to be met. And those needs were met by certain groups of people. At the federal level, that didn't impact us as much, right? That was a different kind of ideological stance. But the reality was we needed certain things at the local level. That's gone out of skewed, that's been skewed. But again, only 29% of our folks vote. So how skewed is it?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
if
go
actually
vote.
50, right,
Yeah,
if 50%
right.
show up, so how do we get people to the polls? How do we
Yeah.
inform them about the importance of voting? How do you do that without saying this candidate's better than another candidate?
Right.
How do you have a genuine conversation?
That's like say, oh, my vote doesn't matter. I'll be like, well, I don't consider it like you're voting for the women or whoever, that fought for you to have the right to do this. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying?
And
Yeah,
and if you
that's-
don't use those rights, then
Yeah.
you become complacent with the fact that you lose control.
So I didn't say that the most intelligent way.
But no, we know exactly
got it.
what
Yeah,
you're
we know what you're
saying.
talking about.
Absolutely.
But what I
Next
was
week's going to be much more intelligent. So you guys might learn
No,
something about
no.
that.
Next week's going to be firebrand.
yeah,
my-
next
my
week is
hope
going to be.
is-
We're laughing this time. We're going to be
okay.
fucking.
we got
hit.
to we got to come to terms with some stuff in this
We
state,
do.
and I think it's incumbent upon the women who have been working on these issues for decades for us to stand up and say, listen, this is what we've experienced. This is what our hang-ups are. Here's what we see as an option to move forward. Now, if you want to get on board with that, let's rock and roll. If you don't and you want to continue to be a problem, please step to the side.
Go over there
Well,
and be a
it's-
problem.
And it's either and it's the men too. I think a lot of men that don't vote in this state They don't, because they don't think there is enough votes.
Yes.
They think that it doesn't matter if they go to the polls.
That's because everybody thinks that.
Yeah, and then collectively we have given up.
Chicken or egg situation. Yeah.
And then, collectively we've given up. And we've said, well, this is the way it is in West Virginia now, and it doesn't matter whether I show up and vote. But the fact is, if 20% of you out there who would vote a different way showed up,
right?
We could take that in a different direction.
Early.
And regardless of what
you're going to hurt if you vote and it doesn't matter.
Well, and even if you, regardless of what side you vote
early.
for,
that's another point, because a lot of folks, hey, I work on election day, but
are employers supposed to give you time?
You are
to go,
absolutely federally mandated.
So that's not an excuse.
But if you're in the type of job that's going to give you a hard time about that, vote earlier. Find different ways to vote. I think that's a really good point.
Yeah.
The elections this week, again, regardless of which side you're on, who you would vote for, have shown that showing up matters.
Right.
And showing up in elections that don't seem important can be hugely important.
Right.
And
we're not shills for one side or the other. Right? There's a certain it's the right person for the job.
There's an expectation. Yes, there's an expectation.
And just vote one way is counterintuitive to the American,
as it stands,
the American dream,
right?
Like, I think you want to select the person that is right for the job, and not vote for a certain party.
Or you're just going to put C down your test. Is that what you're going to do?
Yeah.
You're just going to go red, 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 blue, 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 blue.
Yeah.
As it stands right now, there is a Republican.
I went CAP,
Cab. Back.
I think statistically.
Bad.
Statistically. Let's go.
You got one left.
D, all the above.
I do want to, as we get closer to the midterm elections, talk more about how to register to vote, how to get access to voting, find out where you vote, make sure your voter registration is valid and good.
You have to have ID.
Have our website up.
You do have to have ID.
Yes.
You do have to, or it also says you can provide, I know certain districts allow different things, but generally you need to be able to provide some type of ID.
Right. A picture.
Even if you can't.
It was like a picture signing for him.
Even if you can't, go vote a provisional ballot, and find out what you can bring next time. And I think it's incumbent upon folks like us, I'll say me, to do more voter education and become involved with the groups to do that, because demystifying that process for new voters. But I gotta say, I think the kids get it. Like, I feel confident about these younger voters that I think they understand that it's kind of a minor thing you can do to have a big impact. And they don't I love Generation Don't Give a Fuck. Yeah. I've said this before, like, this whole group of people who don't play by the old rules. They don't listen. And it drives the boomers crazy.
I'm here for
it. The boomer side of me is like, damn kids. And then the Gen X side of me is like, rock on, youngins. Yeah.
I love it.
Keep it rowdy, man.
Yeah.
Keep it rowdy.
Here for it.
So, I stand in these two eras of you got to play by these rules, but look at this craziness happening and how great it is.
I'm at the point right now where the rules mean dick.
So I was going to say, in Pennsylvania, at the local level, you have to get 500 signatures just to get on the ballot. So you see the candidates some, but it seems like there was a lot more interaction with candidates when I was growing up.
Oh, absolutely. They had to work harder.
Social media has
I've never
made them
seen
very
these
lazy.
people. You know what I mean?
Well, and that political capital, people like Maria Gannot, who have a name within their communities around other issues, are firebrands, but they're also folks who have political capital. She would make a great candidate.
And I want people to know, if you don't know who Maria Gannot is, it triggered me when you told me, when the chemical spill happened in Charleston in 2014.
Mm-hmm.
She was the one that
grabbed the water from the dude?
It was Randy Huffman. So they had a panel of like the Department of Homeland Security and they had bottles of water up there, and they were basically telling people who had their water poisoned that it wasn't that bad. And Maria Gano stood up, and I was standing cooking. I'll never forget, I was in my kitchen cooking, watching this on a live news feed on my phone. And Maria just got up and walked up to the table and snatched Randy Huffman's bottle of water away from him and sat down. And the cameras cut, and I started jumping up and down in my kitchen. I was like, that's right. You don't get to drink clean water. You don't get it.
It's not that bad.
You
then you
don't
can just
get it.
Go to the water fountain.
Look at the emotion
nice.
that brings up in me now.
It's a nice flex
Well, you were the one. You were one of the ones that was poisoned.
I was, and it mattered.
You were living there.
That panel mattered. And the people and what they were saying mattered, and they were screwing it up from beginning to end. And she stood up and made a statement. So what happened, the funny part of the story is, I'm watching this and the news feed cuts to commercial, and I'm like, holy shit, what just happened? Like, oh my God. When they come back from commercial, the newscaster is like, oh, okay, all right, we're back. I think it looks like we're going to let Miss Gano stay, and we're going to continue on with our panel. And they just went straight back into the panel. Well, people who were in the room told me later that when she walked up and grabbed that and the cameras cut, that they called security to come and drag her out. And when they started to take Maria out of that room, the crowd came unglued.
Yes.
And started chanting, let her stay, let her stay, let her stay. And they couldn't calm the whole crowd down, so they put her back in her seat right as they came back from commercial. So the anchor was like, okay, so it looks like we're going to let Miss Gano stay. And they went back into the panel.
That's goals.
Are you kidding me? As a West Virginia woman, to see a woman stand up and speak truth to power like that
Yeah.
Amazing.
still inspires me like this to this day. I want to be her. I want to be that bold in those moments. So that's our intro to Maria Gano coming on next week. Is
I like it. I'll be listening.
I still feel empowered from her making that statement on my behalf.
And I think we need to revitalize that whole
Conversation.
thing. because
Absolutely.
It's happening now.
It's happening now.
It's
all
never
over.
going to
this-
stop.
In this
happening.
community, it's happening right now.
And for a long time we were having people say it's not happening and blah blah blah.
And I
still,
think-
there's people saying that.
Yeah.
The anniversary of Buffalo Creek there, not long ago.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, and those things happen, and I'm worried about something like that happening.
Yeah.
Every time I see heavy radar over the coalfields or Boone County, I
Yeah.
think about slurry dams. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
about what if this is a storm that
It's
overloads
happened
one of
up
those
here.
dams? Absolutely.
We're having 100-year floods like every 15
Yeah.
years.
Absolutely.
So it
They're
seems
they're
like-
raising the the flood zone.
We're gonna have to get flood insurance.
in the
for
entire
insurance.
Yeah.
for the entire county
Absolutely.
by 2 or 3 foot.
That's what your study money is doing,
Yeah.
is raising your flood insurance.
That's-
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a
Yep.
lot.
Yeah,
It's huge.
yeah.
But again, there are very specific things that have caused that we can't deny any longer, right? We can't
Yeah.
say, oh, it's an act of God. No.
Yeah.
God doesn't drill holes in the mountain and blow it up and build roads and mines. Like, that's not God.
It's naturally occurring when man fucks with it. Yes, that's what naturally occurs when man fucks with it.
So I'm going to say thank you so much, Derek. I
Thank
hope
you.
you
Yeah,
come
thanks
back.
for coming.
Again,
my, cheeks are sore.
My abs kind of hurt a little bit from laughing. It's true. Like, I feel like you have a very comedic sense of humor,
and it's a good, refreshing open to,
Yes.
to start
Thank you.
the season.
Oh,
and,
shucks.
Oh, shucks. Right.
Thank you,
I
no,
really
this has
appreciate
been a
you
blast.
And again, thank you for our
awesome.
Yeah.
I've been
Amazing.
I've been using I've been
Yeah.
feeling these like they're called.
again. This is our history. This is our.
You're taking these, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Those are, yeah.
I mean, you
Like,
could shuffle.
no, I've been-
I don't know.
But this is very cool.
I got
This is very
fidget,
cool.
You know.
I mean,
Um,
this is great.
The alchemy that is required to make pottery, and then
Pie.
mixing that with the history of these
Yeah.
mountains is really profound, and it means
Yeah,
a lot
it's
to us.
great.
So what a great opening
It's
second.
gonna go up
I
in the
started
background
pottery
now.
like a year, maybe a year and a half
That's
ago.
Do you have a
Beautiful.
potter's wheel?
No, I go to Studio 83 in Sharon, and I kind of like stepped out of my comfort zone doing this and love it.
Oh, I bet it's so cool. If you can make cool stuff like that.
It's very mediocre.
I love
people
pottery.
People love it. Though.
I did
I'll
pottery
send you
in
guys
high
It's a
some
lost
for
art,
sure.
you know. It's something that you don't see much. So
I
thank
did-
you so
I did
much.
learn
Appreciate
looking that during World War II, they went to paper script.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Yep.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Neat story, Derek.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
Very cool.
That's history. We
Yeah.
love stuff like that. Dude. We're,
Yeah, that's what we're
nerds.
about.
So-
I'm not sure if you understand.
When
this
you
or not.
come back and talk to
I
us,
like it. I like
we'll
it.
talk again. So when will you be back in town? Do you come back? Pretty often.
It's hard to tell. I got I've got my painting up in Detroit, and then I work every other weekend. So it's there's a lot going on. Not much
Yeah.
grass grows under my feet.
There you go.
I'm moving around.
Keep it moving.
Well,
We'll
that's
figure it out,
That's
man.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let
for
us know
sure.
when you're
For
back in
sure.
town.
Absolutely.
It was great
Holler at
great
us when you
meeting
come back
Great
and
seeing you
yeah.
guys
Yeah.
for sure.
And
All
spread
right.
those stickers far and wide. If
Oh,
y'all need a
you know it.
sticker, Derek
You know
Cole
it.
has
I
one.
gave it
Yep, we'll be dropped off this evening. Some of them.
Awesome.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Till
We'll
next
see
time,
ya.
y'all. Take care.
All right.
Sweet.